shave it off, dude.
Dude, I can't. No, I like my hair. I just don't like when it's really thick because then I sweat.
We, we are live on Twitch, and your hair is perfect. How could you mess up that hair?
Thank you.
You can't mess it up. You'd be perfect for Hollywood. You don't have to hire a hairstylist.
That's true, right? That's true.
I don't have to hire a hairstylist.
You don't have to worry about a hairstylist. Well, somebody help with the skin, maybe, make sure it's nice and supple.
That's right. Oh boy, Mac Nonsense. Welcome. Okay, good to see you. All right, people are starting to jump in.
All right.
Okay, so we've got Anthony Rizzo here today. He has a wonderful tutorial for us. He's going to share some great stuff. Numbers are jumping in there. People come in. Welcome everybody to the Blender 3D broadcast. We also do LightWave here as well for those who are LightWave enthusiasts. Come join us. Anybody who wants to come in to share anything live, I am going to grab the link. I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to paste it right here. In fact, I'm going to type in to share. If I can type right here, to share live. And there we go. All right, so I'm gonna post it in right now. Keep your eye on your screen, and there it is. Okay. So if you want to come and share live with us, anything that you're working on, a neat little Blender tutorial that you may have just learned about, anything you want to do. So this is just today is the roundtable discussions, just to share and show all the cool stuff that's going on in Blender. Blender is making some incredible strides.
Wow, I don't know if you saw the video where they have Claude working inside of Blender.
Oh yeah, I've been keeping my eye on that actually.
Yeah. But I mean, the cost of it though is still.
This is the problem. The industry sees the dollar signs on this stuff, and they're charging a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
But the problem is you got a whole bunch of platforms out there that you want to try.
I mean, do you want to try them or do you want something that's standardized? Because personally, if you're trying to make money at it, you want something standardized. That's why
Kevin is here. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. What's up, man?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good to see you. Yeah, we were just talking about, the whole AI industry out there. There's so many, and by next month it's probably going to be double. And everybody, you want to try them all. Yeah, you want them standardized, but is that possible at this stage of the game? I don't think that's possible.
I think well, it's like anything else. Look what happened with 3D. All of a sudden there's like 6 core programs.
Right.
I think so. I think just naturally things will get whittled down and companies will buy each other and that sort of thing. I think that's what's typically what happens if you look at any product design. I think, So, but at the same time, you can have a really good product, a really good AI model that gets swallowed up and tossed to the side.
But AI, unlike 3D, is much more ubiquitous. I mean, it's just. 3D was always this very limited, narrow market. Always been that way. AI is not.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
We're taking everything.
It spans everything we do.
Absolutely. And it's like big different companies, even artists are starting to make their own AI engine.
Yeah. There's a lot of. Have you seen some of the videos online where somebody made a Super Mario game with Claude in a day, in 8 hours?
Wow.
How do you? Yeah.
I know. I feel like the floor is going to fall out of the industry because clients are expecting people to use this stuff now because they think it's cheaper to do.
Right.
So they don't want to spend as much. So they're going to say, "Hey, Tony, I want you to do this animation for me, but I want it done in, AI."
The only problem is, let's say that you create something and it smushes everything together. It doesn't give you a layered Photoshop file. or a layered After Effects file or a layered anything, and you can't go in and, like, if you use Sonos, the music program, the music AI stuff, which a lot of my friends are using, they can't go in and remix anything.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, the thing about AI images is every time, you know, it's a lot easier to change something in a still image than it is a video. If you get a video that it generates and you're like, oh, that guy's in the wrong spot or he's not wearing the right shirt, like if you try and correct that, you're going to get other problems in your next return. So now you have to track that thing down and figure out how to. It's much easier to do in a still image, you know. But the thing is, this AI stuff, like what Tony just said, there's not layers or anything. I can prompt something to say, change that tree in the room to an acacia tree or whatever. You can do that pretty easily, but it re-renders the entire image every time.
Right.
And if you laid it over each other, every instance you get it, they look the same, but they are not the same image. You can see it's re-rendering everything because it's not a layer. It's not a layer that you're preserving and then you're only getting the change on top. It's a new thing every time, which, you know, for social media posts and all this stuff,
not a big deal.
Quick, that's fine. But if you need to be in control of it, it's really hard to maintain something and then just get a change and combine them. You know, it's hard to.
Can I
video?
Can I, you know, along the same lines, can I share this video real quick? It's about 4 seconds long, maybe.
Yeah, I think you can go. Let me share your screen now, Tony. So I'm going to add your screen to the stage.
This is on my YouTube channel. I have some LightWave tutorials and a bunch of AI stuff that I do. So this thing is called the Zombie Apocalypse, Popsicle Lips.
And I think there's a setting in settings that will also share the sound to this as well in StreamYard.
Can you hear anything? Did you hear the sound at all?
Not yet.
Okay. Oops. Where is?
There was an option. I'm trying to remember where it is. I'm looking in settings now. If I go to,
I think it's when you go to share your screen. It's right before you click.
Oh, that's right. That's right. When you share your screen, actually, you might want to unshare and reshare again, Tony.
Okay.
And then right when you share the screen, I think there's an option in there. It's going to ask you to also share your
stop. So stop screen.
Also to share your platform as sound.
Screen.
Just look in there and see what you can see.
So let you share audio. Look for these. Follow these steps to share video. Okay. Share screen. Present. No.
Snippet.
It just says. Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh, okay. Got it. All right. So this should work. So this is what I did with this, the zombie whatever zombie apocalypse. Yeah. So what happened was that I started building those popsicles in 3D, like I showed you guys last time I was on. And so this is a little video that I created along with it. So Envato and ChatGPT and After Effects and Premiere for audio, and that's it. The thing is, so using Envato to create the movement of the camera and the animation of the popsicles, you know, that you know, it only gave me 5 seconds, but only 3 seconds of usable stuff, you know.
Yeah,
it's like, that's what I needed, you know, and I wanted to do more, but it won't let me. So what I've done now, and let me stop sharing that again, and I'll share my screen with you. I'll show you what I did. Hang on real quick. Entire screen. So let me just move this up over here. And so what I did was I wanted to create the kitchen. And this is what the kitchen looks like, right? But when I first created it, it was very much more so of a very realistic looking, and I didn't want that because I'm a cartoony guy. And I'll show you. So this is what it came up with. This. Come on, you do it. So it's very very realistic, and I didn't want that, but I like the aesthetic of it. This is a little bit of the era that I grew up in. So then I asked for it to, make it more cartoony. And then what I did was, again, using Blender, let me go all the way down here. I actually used the image, using the reference image, create a Python script for Blender that will build all the objects in the kitchen, blah, 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 create the cutouts and that sort of thing. And so I have brand new Blender file. I'm just going to copy the Python script, go over here to Blender and scripting, new, paste, run that sucker, and boom. Now I asked it just to create basic shapes, okay? Because if you try to ask it to do more than that, I have not had good results, okay? And so yeah, there's some issues, right? So, but this is good enough to get started. This saves a lot of time if you think about it, right? Versus really traditional ways of doing things. So here's my new version of it, where I've actually really kind of fleshed it out and that sort of thing. Texture mapped it and yeah, and that's where I'm at with this right now. I still have to do a lot with the door itself. The stove, I did do a stove, but I got tired, so I was like, let me see if I can find something for free. Sure enough, I did. These are nothing but cylinders. These things are nothing but cylinders. Sometimes we get into I don't know about you guys, but sometimes we get into the weeds about, we gotta make this, we gotta make that. How we gonna do? You're not gonna see it. This is
Yeah.
You're not gonna see it. You're gonna see, that's a passing fancy, and it's gonna be like this, and you're gonna zoom in like this, up to the freezer door, and everything swings out, and blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm done with modeling things I'm not gonna see. I'm done with having to put it. These chairs are these chairs are something I found online too for free. And then I don't know if you guys use Blender Kit. I freaking love Blender Kit, especially when it comes to materials. There's a ton of free stuff on Blender Kit. And so right now I'm just kind of modeling out the kitchen and getting it done. And you'll notice in the actual kitchen itself, it's got this doorway here. Well, I'm not about to model all this crap over there, even if I import them. So I just I put a door there. So I could hide it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Because that's not the focus. The focus is going to be the freezer, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, in the same way, you just build what you see and
Yes.
put all your time and effort into the main hero stuff. And,
Exactly. But so that's one way that I've used, ChatGPT to do that kind of stuff, to help minimize what I'm having to do. I've really, here's a reference sheet that I had ChatGPT make for me, and so I'm gonna, model some of the stuff, the freezer doorway and that sort of thing. But it's really kind of cool the fact that it gave me all these other things, It gave me the enamel paint, and it gave me all the settings for it, and I could just copy and paste all this stuff, whether I use any of it, it's up to you. I get to be the art director for a change. You know what I mean? And I get to tell somebody else what to do. So that's really great. So the other part of it too that I use is, so one thing I don't know if anybody knows, but of course we know organization is the key, right? But how you become so unorganized and all your assets are all over the place. Well, so what I did was I took a screenshot of all my assets that were all over the place, right? And I took that screenshot in ChatGPT and I said, make a folder structure for all this. And so it literally made a folder structure that I could download and put in on my hard drive, and then just move things over. And next thing you know, I'm organized to some extent, So that's another way that I'm doing it, using this. The other thing I did too was making phenomes. There's tons of reference out there, right? But what happens when you use AI to help you? You throw the image in of what it is you want the phenomes to be, and it says, here you go. Here's your phenome. So here's my guide for my phenomes.
Mm-hmm. What you could probably do too, if you ever wanted, if it was just the mouth that you're concerned about, you could probably ask it for alpha channels, and you would just get the mouths, which you could just texture map onto the surface of that thing. If he was ever talking, and you just wanted the mouth texture.
Yeah, I thought about that too, because I thought about using Character Animator for that, because it's very easy to use Character Animator for something like this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's a very doable thing. But the thing is that I wanted everything to be at an angle. Ultimately they're gonna, so here's the phenomes for the green guy, the red guy, the blue guy, and then the yellow guy. Mm-hmm. So that's how I've been using AI to help with the process of it. And then I do the minimal amount of work, of course. And then, but I also had it do, hang on a second, it's popping up. Are you opening up? Yeah. So, because, these are nothing but zombie dad jokes, basically. Why did the zombie popsicle go to therapy? Because it had too many meltdowns. So the thought process is, once the two zombies talk to each other or tell the joke, they all groan, oh, and then they melt. So that's the gag. And then the freezer door closes, the refrigerator door closes, and it's a reverse pull out to the title sequence that I'll create. But it really takes the drudgery out of all the little stuff, and that's how I've been using it. And again, too, you could have it'll give you a project structure as well, and it can create the zip file for you that has all your folders in it, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing with this stuff. And I don't have a deadline for getting it done per se, but eventually.
Hey, whenever.
I'm not on a specific timeline, but I do try to work on it, a little bit each night, an hour or two each night, and an hour or two on the Saturdays, or Sundays or whatever. So that's what I've been doing.
Cool.
So you're going to share? Were you going to share the Popsicles workflow?
I haven't really developed the Popsicle workflow other than what I shared last time, and just creating those. I haven't started the blend shapes on those at all. I'm hoping that once I get the kitchen and the refrigerator done, and that's the other thing too.
It would be wonderful if you can just do an example of how to do a blend shape. I think the audience would love to see that.
That'll have to be next time, because I'm not familiar enough with blend shapes. Maybe Kevin, if you've done blend shapes.
I have. I could probably show something like really quick and basic of how it works.
Yeah. If Steve, if that's what you want, Steve. Yeah. Because I don't have anything to show as far as blend shapes.
That would be kind of fun. That would be kind of fun. Let me put everybody back. There we go. We're back live there. That would be kind of fun to show.
I'd love to see that, because I'd love to see somebody else's technique.
Or even if you were going to model those popsicles in Blender, how would you do it? I know you did it in AI.
Oh, no. I modeled those in Blender.
Oh, well, share that.
Oh, yeah, sure. I can show you how to do that. I mean,
it's really back on us here.
it's all right, hang on a second. Where am I? We are right here.
Yeah, making sure it's something like from beginning to end on how you model the popsicles.
Where are we? Entire screen.
Share the entire screen.
So you should see it right now, right? So oops, here we go. One, it's a rectangle. It's just a rectangle.
Yeah, take your time.
It's just a rectangle which is so anyway, let's go over here. I like wireframe. And we'll go over here. And then actually we'll go like this. 2 to get the edges, and then I'll just something like this. I'll go to the panel here and start doing this.
Now share every little step because people here are not familiar with this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're talking like we already know it.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, so the most important thing in modeling, and I think everybody can agree on, is that everything's a basic shape. And it brings me back to when I first started learning how to draw. Everything's a basic shape. And so to make the rounded popsicle, and I'm just going to grab the edges right here. One to go to my front view, zoom in a little bit, go to bevel, bring this in, something like this, and then start adding my segments. And so I know that this is going to be.
And you're adding them using the little panel on the bottom left-hand corner there.
Correct. Yeah. And I know. So then you have to decide when you're doing this, how is this going to be made? All right. So mine, the way I did it was everything is subdivision surfaces, right? And so what I'm going to do is go back to, I'm in edit mode into polygon mode. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to go Command R, and I'm going to add, hang on a quick second, will you? Hang on.
Gotta go bust some heads.
Yeah, close the door. Tell them to shut up. I hear dragging feet in the background.
Sorry about that. So anyway, so I'm going to add a couple loops, right? And then I know how I'm going to, oops, wrong thing. So I'm going to grab that loop and I'm going to bring this over here, grab this loop, bring this over here. And what that's going to do, once we go to our modifier, generate, and subdivision surface, right? So you can see that the bottom here has an issue. So what I'll do, let me turn that off. There's a couple ways you can do that. You can grab these polygons right here. Oops. Right here. You can either do that. Well, yeah, I'll do it this way. I'll do Command R, and I'll just want to do that. All right, that's fine. Let me do it this way. I usually either add in loops or you just, grab these and E and then Z. E for oops, about that. E for extend or extrude. Sorry, and just bring this down a little bit like so, and that's going to help that out. The other thing so if we turn this back on, you're going to see much, right? And then we'll do that. Let's bring this down a little bit, our material, so we can see. But we still have some issues over here too. You see the buckling right here in the corners. So I don't particularly like that. So what I'll do, and that comes from, it's an N-gon, so you have to fix that. And the only way to fix that is by making everything into a quad.
Oh, I'd love to see that workflow.
So go to edit mode, and then what I'll do is I'll just grab my knife tool here. A very old school. Grab that one. There are other ways to do this. You could probably do, I'd still have a problem with it though, no matter what. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll take.
Actually, you know what you could do, Tone? I think.
What's that?
If you undid those 2 cuts you just made, do and select the face of the thing and just do an inset.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I for inset, right?
Yeah,
and
that'll.
Woo!
Yeah, just enough to.
Yeah.
Round over the sharp edges.
Right.
I think that'll get rid of that.
Oh, that'll definitely get rid of that. But you also have to plan for the face, right? Because you're gonna have. So with my zombies right now, everything's cut into it itself. You know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you're absolutely
still do what you were going to do, but
yeah.
Helps the.
I wonder, can't you do a grid fill?
You don't want to do that on this.
Yeah, it won't look nice.
We can try.
I don't think it'd work. I didn't think it would work.
If you try selecting 2 points and hit the V key, that'll automatically slice it.
Oh,
go to edit mode.
Yeah.
Okay, so select 2 points from one side or the other. 1 point on one side. Hit the V key. I think it's V. Is it V? Damn it! I'm forgetting the shortcut. Is it V or is it? Damn it! Hold on a minute.
To where you split?
Yeah, split.
That's good. That's a good question. I don't know. I've never used that before.
I use it all the time, and I'm forgetting.
In LightWave, it works the way you just said.
Yeah, I know. I get confused between LightWave shortcuts and Blender shortcuts all the time.
Let's see. I'm just gonna play around with this. I do a. Let's see if I select 2 points. Let me. I
don't know. I don't remember how you can do it.
Give me a second. The thing is, I'm just forgetting. That's all. So, and I use it all the time.
I'm gonna real quick. This is
all right.
I like 20. To be. Go ahead. What'd you say?
No, it's not V. Okay. So, I know what V is. Slicing the whole face. That's what it is. So let me go back. So what you want to do is 2 points. What is the damn slicing? Is it J? J. It's J. It's J.
Look at that.
J for join. Think of
J
that.
for join. That's right.
No, Command J is join.
No, J. Just J in Blender.
Just J. Yeah. But Command J is for join.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So
just like 2 points and just slice them in between them, and you're done.
Yep. I'm gonna do the same thing to this face over here, and then I'll I probably should do the whole mirror thing too.
Yeah, mirror helps tremendously. You might give it a try. Just to put a slice down the middle and delete half.
Yeah, actually, let me just do that. Hello. Let's go.
In fact, you can do it in quarters. Right? Slice it that way and then slice it the long way along the thin portion of.
Yeah. I'll
do it in quarters.
That's right here. And then this way I can just go.
Now what you just did, all you need to do is select 2 points and hit the J key. And that would have been faster. Just
yeah. Would it have spanned all 3 polygons to do that?
I thought you selected only 2 points.
Yeah, but on the bottom it didn't do a full loop. So that's
Okay.
why I'm 7. Go to my top view, S X 0.
Yep.
G. Oops.
Yep.
Undo that. GX.
I think
And
if
then
you hold
I can-
control, it snaps as you move.
Yeah, I should have put snapping on and I didn't. Oh,
No,
wait.
I think if you just hold the control button when
Oh,
you're
yeah?
dragging something,
Uh-huh.
you'll get a snapping
Control.
without
Oh, yeah, it does.
clicking the magnet all the time up top. But
Yeah, that's a pain in the butt.
I wish it was a pop-up or something.
Yeah, there probably, there probably is. I don't know.
Yeah.
So thanks. I just want to move that over there. And then 3, grab these guys over here. Delete faces. I don't know if that's the best way to do that. 2, and then what is it? This one right here. Grab those. Scale X0. GX. Bring this back over this way. All right. So now, yeah. So what's great about this is now that I have this, I can then go.
Hey Tony, try slicing it long ways.
What's that?
So try slicing it. Turn your pop stick over to the side view.
This.
Now slice it that way.
Oh.
Going vertical, not horizontal.
Oh no, I need horizontal, because when you go to make the face, I have to have.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see. So you want 2 separate. So gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Because otherwise, I can't make the face.
Gotcha. Forget it.
And I'm a stickler on and I guess this, because I was on, I don't know what you guys, I was on LightWave 2.0.
So I thought you were going to say you're on drugs.
No, I was on LightWave 2.0, so you really had to be careful about your polygon count, and you really had to be careful about your topology.
Yeah, not in Blender.
Yeah, and it could be an absolute shit show. It does not care. But I still have that where I don't want it to be,
You always want that mentality where you're being conservative.
Yeah, well, not just conservative, but also it gives you control.
Yeah.
And so let's see if we add where's our mirror? Oh, here it is, mirror. And then there it is. Great. Ooh, look at that. That's awesome. So then if I go back to 1, I can grab. I did this by hand last time, but I think there's got to be a better way of doing it than the way I did it before. Let's see. Oh yeah.
There's only way.
What I did was I grabbed these and I just did an inset.
Yep.
And go back to 1, and then 1, 2. Grab these. One thing I like about Blender is the fact that you click the little move tool right here, and I like the G key too, but it has the arrows, and so it's a lot less confusing if you ask me. But and then I'm just gonna. Do I have? Okay, 1. Oop, 1. Pull these down. Grab that. And so now basically I have my eyeball right here. And so then what I'll do is I'll grab these polygons again. And I'll do an inset, and then E for extrude. Now what I normally do is I'll do E for extrude, and then stop it, and then hit E again, right? Because that creates a control curve or control points. Stop it again, E, and then bring it in again too. So now when I go to object mode and I turn this, that's pretty good. That's a lot faster than what I did before. And yeah, you just grid everything out. And the other thing too is let me go back to one over here. And I used to be a firm, I don't know about you guys, I used to be a firm believer in, everything's got to be connected, right? Not necessarily. Before, in the past, I would have grabbed and made the stick a part of the body here. I don't want to do that. I'm too lazy. So Shift A, make a cube. G, move it to in position where I want, right? And then go back into edit mode, grab these, whoops. I like to grab points. Grab these 2 points, bring it over here. Good enough for government work, right? Let's go to the side. Grab these over here. There's my stick. Maybe it's a little chunky. That's, I'll thin it out a little bit. But maybe people like chunky sticks. I don't know.
We have a dog in the background.
Yeah, I've got 3 of them. And so I'll go to 2, grab my, because I'm going to make this rounded like I did the other one, like I did the popsicle itself. Go back to here, go to bevel this out, go to the little panel over here, go to segments, segment that out to 5. It's good enough for government work, and then there it is, right? And it's blazing glory. And the other thing too, though, is, so this, everything's subdivision surfaces. Whoops, turn that back. But with this popsicle, I don't want it to be subdivision surfaces. What I'm going to actually do is just add a bevel modifier to it and just do it that way. This way, it's less geometry. And the other thing I got to say, though, the habit of getting into, object, apply all transforms, right? And then set origin to geometry.
Yeah.
That's something I still have to get used to.
Yeah.
I'm
still getting used to Z up.
yeah, that messes me up too. That messes me up. Yes.
Yeah, like LightWave, the Z axis was always going in and out. But remember, exactly. they modeled Blender to match the real CNC world and 3D printing world.
Yeah.
The Z axis is up.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Well, but all other programs, isn't Maya Z up as well?
No,
Maya's
Y up.
Yeah, Maya's.
Oh, is it Y? Oh,
yeah. The only 3D program I ever used that had Z up was AutoCAD. I mean, CAD was that way. That's why when you download CAD models, they're always turned on their side, But yeah, it was something to get used to. I mean, the rest of the world was Y up, even After Effects in their 3D world. Nuke, I used Nuke for compositing. Y up. Yeah, it's just something I have to get used to. Every time I move something in Blender, I say it in my brain, Z up.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to do that translation in our head, right? Yeah. And so then, and again, you're making sure everything's gridded out to what you want to do. Same sort of thing with the mouth. If we go to the mouth. Again, of course, organization is the key. You want to call this cube. You want to call it popsicle. And maybe you want to, and I'm lazy. I don't always want to type everything. So I'll copy and paste and then just, something else that I've really learned about organization in list form like that is if you do like, you can always do like a 1- whatever, and it just pops it up at the top of the list,
Yeah.
And I like that too sometimes, because sometimes it doesn't work. Your organization doesn't work alphabetically. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, I don't want the windows all the way at the very bottom. I want them in the middle somewhere. So you make it 21, 22, 23. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just another way to keep yourself organized.
Yeah.
Because again, organization is key. So yeah, this is the beginning of how I make the little popsicles and whether or not And then two, what I'll do is I'll grab like the little green one, the Frankenstein one. I'll just grab the front half of that, right? Shift D, and then I will separate it by selection. Boom. Go back to object mode. Yeah, I know you don't like it. Where are you? Anyway, scale it up a little bit, and then the only thing is, it looks like I have to. It's not 100%. Oh, that's wrong. That messed me up.
Your sub D should be below the mirror object.
Yeah,
that's why you're getting that.
That's why I'm getting that. Yeah. Oh, something's still the matter here.
Oh, in your mirror modifier, is there a weld option?
Oh,
yes.
Well, click. Oh, let me. Up there it goes. Okay,
yeah.
Thanks. I'm so used to like grabbing all the points and going W. Well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in Blender it's M and then usually distance or last or whatever. But
LightWave.
Yeah, and then two with this, what I'd probably do with this is I would so in LightWave we would actually, what would we do? We'd actually build the interior, but oh man, just the fact that we can do solidify, I freaking love that.
Yeah. Is it called thickener?
It's called thick, but it's still oh, this isn't working too well. Oh, maybe it's because I need to come on. Go back to object mode. Scale it up a little bit. Oh, maybe I just there we go. Oh. So anyway, what thickener in LightWave is it's once you do it, that's it. You can't go back in and adjust it like I just did here, where I totally jacked it up, right? It's like, oh, why is that doing? Oh, I see what I did.
Yeah.
So I can come back in. I can,
Yeah, that was the thing in LightWave. You had to undo, change a setting, and then redo it again to see if you got it.
Yeah, and it wasn't
all the tools were live like this.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy to. Or you could save and load, but you didn't always remember exactly what it looked like, too. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But, for this example, too, this would be a really good candidate for the mouth shapes, like you were mentioning,
Mm-hmm.
We grab these mouth shapes. We could take one of these and, well, actually, I should show you what I did with, let me open this one image up. The where is it? Source textures. The spices. I just made them one great big map, and I just put all the cylinders in one joined object, and I just moved the UV map up and down.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I already made the UV map. I don't want to deal with it. And this is what I was talking about before. If we zoom in on this texture, I don't need to model the cap of the freaking spice thing, so just make it a texture.
Mm-hmm.
No one's gonna. I doubt Kevin's gonna call me up and go, "What the hell, Tony? You're a fraud." I mean,
I didn't see any caps on those.
Yeah, I didn't see the. Yeah, I didn't see the specular value of the indentation of the caps and neural knob of the caps. Yeah. I mean, Steve might call me and do that, but I don't think Kevin would.
No.
And these, just so you know, these maps, I had ChatGPT design these too. I grabbed one of them and then I said, okay, I want this one green. I want this one, pink or yellow or whatever. And I mean, the other part of it too is you can grab something and here, for example, here the flower, the can. I made that a seamless. you know how to do it in Photoshop, where you got to offset everything, and then you got to use the remove tool and all that kind of crap. Well, you just throw this thing in and you tell it to make a seamless texture, and it does it.
Yeah.
You know, and what a huge time saver, because that takes seconds versus you know everything else. And this was. I'm go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say you get to use your time the way you like, because I'm more of an animator, and I hate, I've done texturing my whole career and all that stuff, but I kind of hate it, you know. So if I can just get through that phase really quickly with a ChatGPT texture map, then I can move on and do the animation, which is to me the fun part.
Do you know how long it would take me or any other Photoshop artist to make this towel texture?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And to put all the stains in it.
Yeah, and the stitching and like all that.
And it literally took 60 seconds for ChatGPT to do it. And then I had to extend it a little bit in Photoshop. Yeah, well, that's no big deal, right? With all the new tools that you have. It just makes our life that much easier, faster, and that sort of thing. This particular texture I used for the cans as well. I'm going to save this real quick. Save as, and we'll just say pops. Come on, you can do it. Save it. Let me open the kitchen again. So, and I did the same thing here. This texture right here, I spread them out, and it took a few minutes, right? But I made this one cylinder and I copied it. Let me go to edit mode. And oops, that's not what I want. Anyway, why do I not have it?
Oh, I want to show you something real quick while you're right here.
Yeah.
You see, remember how LightWave worked with, you're in modeler and you're in sub D mode.
Mm-hmm.
The wireframe on the sub D always completely hugged the model. Whereas in Blender, the default is what you're showing me. I'm seeing. Let me just show you. It's easier to show you. You see on that one can you have selected over on the right side where your subdivision modifier is.
Yes.
If you check the little triangular doohickey thing.
Oh yeah, hang on a second. Let me grab this real quick. Okay.
Yeah, when that's lit, it looks like the LightWave.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's not, then it looks like this.
Yeah.
I like that feature too. You can see how you're doing the subdivision, and just like you said with the stick, this isn't this little thing right here, this little ball. It's not attached. Before I used to make sure everything was attached. We're gonna do that. I'm just like, nobody cares.
Yeah, that was like the thing for a while in the early 2000s was to model everything from extruding from one
object. Right.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, try and change that one thing now. So now you've ruined all your UVs and everything. And
oh my gosh, it's talking about having to re-UV map something. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. And with that reference image of the kitchen itself, right? So I could let me open it up again real quick. Where are you? Reference images. Here we go. So with this, I could take this into Tripio or Meshy 3D or whatever and have it build it, but it'll be a shit show.
Yeah.
It'll be horrible.
It'll be like photogrammetry models.
Exactly. So and also too, it atlas maps everything. And so you would have to re-UV map everything. And my model doesn't look exactly like the kitchen, but it's close enough for government work.
Mm-hmm.
No one's paying me to do it. And the other part of that is, who's gonna know?
Right.
No one's gonna know.
Yep.
You know. I still have to work on the faucet and all that sort of thing. I got lazy on the sink, but again, who's gonna?
Right.
You're not gonna see it.
Yeah.
The dishwasher face here. Oh, this is interesting. I think this is interesting. So with the dishwasher face, what I did was I had ChatGPT. So I took this image, threw it in ChatGPT, and I had it make close up of the dishwasher controls like this. And then I just UV mapped that on because no one's gonna.
Right.
I don't need to have the actual knobs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know. And
yeah, I remember years ago watching the something behind the scenes stuff on the movie The Incredibles.
Oh yeah.
And Brad Bird, who directed it, was saying in the behind the scenes, he says, we get into these meetings every single morning in a room with all the 3D modelers and the designers about, someone would hold up a coffee cup for a scene inside of the kitchen. And we're like, okay, what should this cup look like? What kind of handle? What kind, And he said, I got tired of these meetings. And I said to the animators and modelers, just build stuff. You guys go and do the thing, if it's incredibly simple, if it's, really detailed, like, I don't really care that much. I said, if it stands out and something's wrong, then I'll tell you to redo something. Because I don't need to go into all this, like what you were just saying, do we need to build the knobs on this thing? It's way in the background, So he was just like, just do it. If we need a close up later and you have to build more, then we do it. But
absolutely, I remember.
I need to hear about this.
Yeah, I remember the first Toy Story, and they were like zoomed in to the baseboards, and that's where you could see all the dirt from like a real baseboard, know. But they were zoomed in. That's why,
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly yet how. Let me go. Where's my thing here? Nope, that's not it. My other reference. Where are you? This one right here. I know for a fact that the biggest thing that I'm going to worry about is the icicles and the frost on the shelves. But the one thing that I definitely really want to pay attention to is this area right here where it says no frost. I totally like that idea, and so I'm really going to pay attention to that area of the fridge once I get inside. And again, like this frost over here, I was actually thinking of, photoshopping this and then bring it into Tripio and let Tripio build all that sort of thing for me. And then I just plop it in.
Yeah.
Because who cares? Nobody cares. No one's going to know, and I don't need to be, what's the word I'm looking for? A
perfectionist.
A purist.
Yeah. Yeah, no one's going to open up your scene file and make sure you modeled in quads and, all the overlapping whatever's.
I'm gonna get sued unless I don't, if I don't turn over my blend file.
Okay. We need you to inspect your Blender files, sir.
Steve is the Blender inspector.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm still gonna, trick out the refrigerator a little bit because it's the hero object, right? Mm-hmm. And then the other thing I'm debating on. So as you notice, here's in my scene here. Oops. Grab my towel. And that's the other thing. The towel, the towel is pathetically lame. Look at that. It's just it's a plane.
Just needs to be what you see.
Oh, you got to put some folds in those towels. You use like wrinkle.
No, and you know what? If I really want folds in them, I'll just put folds in the texture because nobody's gonna care, and I'll make a normal map.
Yeah, make it with your procedural textures. That'll be good enough.
Yeah, that'd be good enough. But I mean, you can see it's just a simple plane. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
Whereas before, for a fact, we would have modeled the thickness of it and everything else. But again, nobody's going to care.
Yeah.
But I do. So the other thing I was thinking of, though, honestly, was, whoops, where are you? Come back. Where are you? Sorry about that. I do think I want to put some magnets and stuff onto the refrigerator, just as texture maps, just to give it a little bit more life. I got to dirty it. I just think I want to dirty it up a little bit more. It's really clean right now, so I haven't figured out exactly how I want to dirty it up. But
instead of texture maps, it might be quicker to do, like if you just map the magnets onto a subdivided flat plane.
Yeah.
And use the shrink wrap modifier, it'll just stick to the front of that refrigerator, and you can move them around quickly in layout instead of in the texturing mode.
Yeah. Here's my mouse. I'm gonna just make a shrink wrap magnet textures. Kevin, I'm gonna give you credit, Kevin.
Yay! I exist.
You're gonna be my consultant on my zombie popsicles.
Shrink wrap consultant.
Yeah. So the plan and the goal for this is I've got like a dozen different zombie popsicle jokes, and they're just gonna be. And it's exciting to me because once I have all of this done, it's virtually going to be pretty much the same thing, and it'll be different zombie popsicles that will tell the jokes each episode that I have. So, once I get the blend shapes done and I get the animation down, that's really, so it's going to be a few more weeks before I get all that stuff going, but it's going to get there. I was actually I got a friend of mine at the college where I work, he'd kill to do the sound design. That's the other thing too. You look at all this AI stuff and there's no sound design. You know what I mean? There is nothing. I want to hear, and this is really pathetic, but this goes back to my traditional film roots, and that's where we used to record all our own sound effects. And I want to hear a little bit of the creak of the door of the refrigerator. I want to hear the frost. I want to hear the groan. I want to hear that crackling sound of, if a zombie popsicle twists a little bit, I want to hear that crackling sound, because that brings everything to life.
Yeah. I did a short film a couple summers ago for Blobfest. But the kind of the aspect of sound design and music, was the thing. And some of the music I used was real music from like movie trailers, like 1950s movie trailer horror.
Right.
But the sound effects and things, I was going on YouTube and looking for sound effects, and then just downloading these files and then bringing it all into After Effects to edit the soundtrack, which was kind of a painful thing because After Effects isn't meant for sound design.
It is not. It's not friendly. I use Audition for stuff like that. If I have to do it, I use Audition.
But I imagine in this AI emerging world, I would guess that in time you'd be able to, I'll just say, upload your short. It can analyze a scene and see that, there's a crunchy popsicle sound. There's a creaky door. It'll add those things. I guarantee you that stuff is coming.
That stuff is here.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah. Let's do something real quick.
You can do a soundtrack to a.
Yes. So can you? Oh, you can see this, right? Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to go to a new chat here, and I'm going to say, I'm going to ask it, what sound effects would I need for my zombie popsicle animation? And now to list it out.
Wait, how does it know what you're doing? Are you part of the existing chat you've started?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It remembers. So I pay for the subscription, and it remembers what I'm doing.
Okay.
So so once I did that, it then says, retro horror ambiance, cartoony creature sounds, kitchen foley. Right. Here's a breakdown by scene. Da 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 da. Now here's what really gets me. You ready for this one? Yeah. This is crazy. Provide a list from the sound effects library from Envato. I have a subscription to Envato. And so as long as something's public, then it's going to give you links right here.
Right.
Open link. Let's see if it, and here we are. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's, so yeah. Now, do you agree? But the thing then becomes, do you agree with its selection?
Right. Well, that's
So,
like anything, when you go online looking for a 3D model, you get what you get.
yeah. And, hopefully, you remember trolling for early DAZ 3D models, and then you had to go in and clean them up because
Yeah.
the topology was horrible,
Yeah.
or there was no UV map.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing was completely usable right from the download. You always had to fiddle with it.
Yeah. And it also provided a folder structure. So here's this folder structure, right? So now I can say, this is funny, create a downloadable folder structure with, whoops. You have to do this. You have to have it, in order to make that happen, for you to download a folder structure, you have to have it have a text file in it, because otherwise it won't do it. So you do that, and then it'll produce a download. It'll produce a link, a downloadable zip. And this is what I do. And you just unzip it, and Bob's your uncle. I don't know why it's taking so long, but it is.
Well, you know how there's sites like 11 Labs that does the voices, but are there sites that will create the sound effects?
I'm sure there are. Now, here's the thing about 11 Labs. The great thing about 11 Labs is it has stuff that's already done. However, so you can
make your own voices.
Yeah. So, but here's the limits to 11 Labs, and so you could type in whatever you want, and it'll say something the way what it thinks you want. The best way to do it is to have your script, and you say it with your voice and your inflections.
Yeah.
And then you have it changed to whatever you want,
right?
Male, female, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But the deal, it really is the fact that it's you're using your inflections, and so it's going to sound the way you want it to sound.
I actually learned that on that movie I was telling you about, my short film, because when I first went on 11 Labs, I was just doing the text to speech.
Yeah, me
just
too.
Getting this generic read, and I was like, no, I need it to sound like more inflection here and less here.
Exactly.
And that's when I realized I could just use my phone, record it.
Yeah, Can you imagine? Can you guys imagine what would have been like if we were 17 years old with this technology that we have today?
I know.
We would have killed it. We would have just killed it.
Yeah.
I downloaded that zip file, and here's the now here's everything.
Huh.
See, it just made this whole folder structure for me.
Wow.
And so that's what I mean about keeping everything organized. Because you know what it's like having to create this own folder structure for yourself. It's a nightmare, and now you can have this tool do it for you automatically. Come on.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, I remember when we were working on movies, there was just one guy who was kind of involved with the folder structures of everything.
Oh man, yeah,
data scripts that just worked.
Data wranglers were huge. Where's my thing here? So you can have ChatGPT or whatever service that you're using to create these things for you, look up these things for you, images. As long as it's on the web and it's freely accessible, then it'll find it for you or come close. And then you get to be the art director, and you get to make those decisions and spend more of your time. I get onto these discussions with people they hate AI, and it's like, use it as a tool.
Yeah, it is both. I hate it and I love it.
Yeah. No,
But
I
there
get
is something about it that I have to say, you can quickly atrophy your skills as an animator if you're kind of leaving it up for it to do like sort of animation stuff for you. I found that to be like a little bit of a slippery slope. Um, I like to animate something, and if there's a way for it to sort of, I don't know, enhance or add the simulation effects to it, the things
Oh
that
yeah.
are going to kill my computer, like some massive simulation, like a water sim, like maybe it can just do the water sim. I can animate
Mhm.
the thing falling into the water and it can do the rest.
Yeah.
That's how I'm trying to figure out how to use it. Obviously, for the texture maps, like what you were showing and stuff like that, is great. But yeah, as an animator, like you can kind of fall down a slope, and I feel like it is like people who can animate are still in need. Are the ones with the leg up, not the people with the AI skills per se, who are just
Yeah.
coming into the industry because they don't know anything. They're completely relying on AI to do things for them.
Oh, I completely agree. I like the fact that I know how to build all this stuff. I like the fact that I
Yeah.
know how to, I have all these, oh, let me show you this. This was whoops. So I was really lazy. Okay, I hate the way I draw. Uh I had ChatGPT create my storyboard for me.
Hmm.
I described every single shot in it, and it again, I got to be the director
Hmm.
and telling it what to do instead of me sitting down and trying to scribble it out. It's been years since I've drawn,
Yeah. And
and I
that's
hate, yeah, and I hate the way I draw. So it's like, it's a very drudgery for me. So I'm like, I'll just, describe exactly what I want, and it really came very, very close to what I wanted. And now, it's just like, oh, well, I could swap out whatever zombie popsicle I want, you know?
Yep.
So that was yeah, if you look at panel 10 down here, I didn't like the way the first time it did it. Let me see if I can actually find it in my
So World of Wayne official made a comment saying that he says, "I agree. I think it opens up channels for a lot more creatives."
yeah, I think I agree too. I
And
agree.
and welcome to the channel. Where was that World Wayne official? Welcome to the channel, the Blender 3D discussions. We do this every Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. to 1.
These are some of the images I've been playing with. I wanted to see a zombie potato, a zombie spud, and the other great thing too is, when you're I love character modeling. I don't like the hyper realistic stuff, but I love doing cartoony stuff like this. And the cool thing is the fact that you can ask, whether it's ChatGPT or whatever, to give you turnarounds.
Yeah.
And you throw it in and you start working on it,
Yep.
zombie
Yeah, you can ask it for orthographic views so that
oh
you can
yeah,
model from it.
oh yeah, absolutely. The whole zombie popsicle thing started. I saw an illustration of one of these zombie popsicles, and I'm like, it just fascinated me. So then I wanted to create a box set, kind of like what we grew up on. Remember?
All that junk food that we ate.
Yeah, and I'm like,
We
but
got
see,
a we
even
got a big jump of an attendance here. So I just wanted to say welcome everybody. I'm gonna see who I'm seeing here. I'm seeing Ace Hoffman, Kevin is here, and Mac Nonsense. Tissue Boo, welcome and welcome World Wayne official to the Blender 3D discussion. So as I mentioned earlier, it's we do this every Saturday. It's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. all on Blender 3D discussions and techniques and comparing it to other softwares and stuff like that. So it's great to have you here. And we're going to be doing a giveaway, a giveaway of my 5-week Blender 3D class at the end of the discussions today at near, well, we'll say about 12:45 or so. Um, and then some lucky winner is going to get to win that. So stick around, don't go away. Let's see, we've got you know what? We've got 2 minutes left, and we want to take a 15-minute break.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, if I
and
could
we'll-
if I could touch on something real quick, Kevin, what you were talking about before with blend shapes and mouse shapes and that sort of thing, there is a plugin that somebody made called Stopify.
Now, Tony, I'm going to stop you right there.
Oh, okay, sure.
Hold that for after break.
Okay.
Let's do that. All right. Because that sounds like it's going to be really cool, and I want to give us time to take a 15-minute break, because we go 3 hours on this broadcast, so from 10 to 1. So we'll do a 15-minute break right in the middle.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we'll get to share more stuff. So let me find my 15-minute timer. And I'm just going over to YouTube, and of course YouTube is these annoying commercials. Yeah, very annoying commercial. Okay, so I'm going to maximize this, and let me share my screen. I will do so now. Share screen and share entire screen. Cool. All right, everybody. We're gonna do a 15-minute break. Let me kind of start this from the very beginning, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna share more blended 3D discussions. Tony Rizzo, which you've just seen here, is a professor, and Kevin is a professional animator. I'm a digital artist and educator as well. So we'll come back with more. Let's take a little bit of a break, bathroom break, snack break, all that stuff, and come back, and we will continue on.
Sounds good.
All right. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break myself.
You keeping busy, Kevin?
I'm winding down a little bit. I've been doing a lot of medical animation the last number of years. I kind of transitioned out of the film TV stuff.
Yeah, you have to make a living.
Yeah, and I hate to say, but the medical stuff paid far better than the effects work and stuff. But
it's more frequent too.
Yeah, but even that stuff, it's kind of tough in the industry right now. I'll just say that. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of medical stuff, and I started doing this stuff for like about 6 or 7 years ago in LightWave, and then during the first year or so, I started transitioning into Blender because LightWave was on the ropes. We
Yeah.
weren't sure if VizRT was going to ever update the software, which they didn't. So yeah, I was hanging on for a while trying to figure out what to do. So I made the jump to Blender, and then I started doing all my medical stuff in Blender, which was a lot easier, I have to say. Blender handles geometry better in the layout, I think, than LightWave did. But yeah, I was doing some neat stuff. There were these theaters for these medical seminars that they would have. They'd have these seminars where hundreds of doctors show up or whatever, and they set up these theaters with these. They're called Igloo Theaters. It's a company called Igloo Vision, and they're cylindrical theaters. They're 360-degree theaters. It's not a dome over your head, just cylindrical, walls. So you're in about a 25-foot theater, cylinder. And so I have to make these videos in seamless 360,
Wow.
Yeah, LightWave just had a camera. Remember in LightWave you had different cameras?
Yeah.
To select, and I'm forgetting the names of everything in LightWave, but there was some kind of camera that could do VR, and there were two versions of VR. There was the full 360 VR, where you could look all around you, but then there was a cylindrical VR setting, which is exactly what I needed. So it would render the rectangular, they were 8,000 by 2,000 was the format, and they were stereoscopic. So
that's right.
Huh?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I had to work in 3D. So while I'm working in Blender or LightWave, I wear the little red blue glasses,
I loved, the anaglyphic.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that I could see what I'm kind of setting up in terms of. After a while, I didn't need the glasses anymore because I could tell by the distance of the two separation on screen. I could tell if something was going to work or not in 3D. But yeah, I was doing a lot of those types of videos. Everything was stereoscopic, and so it was kind of neat. But yeah, the effects work was neat for movies and stuff. But man, it got grueling. The long days.
Dude, long days. Oh my God, are you kidding? 14, 16 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, no, Hollywood was brutal. I started out doing film and television production. I started out music videos and went on to commercials. And then I started working for a company called Gun for Hire. And that's where I met Dave Hopkins, who was doing Taming the Wave, LightWave tutorial write-ups in whatever magazine there was at the time. I don't remember. New Techniques or whatever. And so I met him and I showed him some animations I did with Deluxe Paint. And so he asked me, he goes, can you draw? I said, well, yeah, I can draw. And he goes, can you make that, it was a face of a jackpot machine, the one-armed bandit. And I said, well, yeah, I can do that. He goes, well, how long is that going to take you? I said, it'll take me about 30 minutes. So he's like, okay. And that's my first introduction to LightWave.
Yeah.
And then I bought my 3000 tower and my toaster.
Yeah.
I worked on I was a second assistant cameraman for the ride film Tower of Terror for Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And I had made $2,400. And I was so excited. I go to Dave, I'm like, fuck, man, I got my check. Look. And he goes, and he looks at it and he goes, that's just enough money for 32 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And so I put my butt in the sling again for but I had a good career.
Yeah. Yeah. LightWave was, I should say, the video toaster was it was 10 years ahead of its time.
Oh man.
They didn't know how to market the thing,
No.
and New Tech, and but yeah, I still have my toaster.
Me too.
Commodore in a closet. I had the Amiga 2000 with the video toaster, and I had a separate drive that looked like a toaster, about the
Hey,
size.
did you get the par card too?
Yep, I got my PAR card in there.
Yes.
Personal animation recorder.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember when I went, I was working for myself eventually for a couple of years, and then some other company. Back in those days, you had to put your animations to videotape because there was QuickTime yet,
Oh, did you use the it was like it was a toaster sequencer type thing where it would call up the sequence in the toaster buffer, display it, and then record it onto tape.
I never used that because I had the PAR card. I had the
Oh,
PAR
okay, yeah.
drive in there, which just recorded the full res frames. But when I showed up at this one company, because once in a while I would have to go, a client would want me to dump it off to digital Betacam tape.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a regular Beta SP deck at home, and he wanted a D Beta. So I contacted a company near where I live, and I have this nice carrying case for my toaster. And I would show up with this case, and the head technician there is looking at me like, what the hell? Because this is in the mid 90s. We were part of a desktop revolution that was just starting, because everything up until that point was you had to have 200 grand to have an SGI computer, an Iris Indigo, like this company that I went to had all this stuff. They had just purchased like 200 grand worth of stuff. They bought Softimage, and they didn't even have anyone to use it yet. They were some guy was like showing up on his free time to try and learn it, and I showed up with my toaster because I just needed to dump off some animations. So he's looking at my setup and he's like, what is all this? And then when I hit play and it was full res real time, like he's like, how is this happening? Because back in those days, the only thing that could play video was an Avid system.
Yes.
And Avid encoded the stuff, and it looked like shit basically, because it would compress it so much and the black level would raise so much. It just looked horrible. The edges were jaggy. And he's like, wow, this looks perfect. I'm like, yeah. And he said, what is this? I basically explained to him, this is what's happening in the background. You guys live in this world of broadcast $100 million stuff. And like people like me are in the background. This is what's happening. This desktop revolution that I showed him the video toaster, had LightWave, the PAR card, and the PAR had, not just NTSC video out, it had S video. It also had component video out, the YRB. And he was just like blown. Well, anyway, long story short, those guys offered me a job. So nice. I took the job. I felt bad for the guy that was coming in on his days off to learn out Softimage. But I told the company, I said, I don't know Softimage. And I said, if that's what you want me to do, it's going to take years for me to get up to speed to where I am with LightWave. Yeah. He saw what I was doing with LightWave, and he's like, well, we'll just sell this thing, this Softimage system, So yeah, they got me, remember the Deck Alpha computer?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was the first 64-bit chips came out, and they bought me a computer for that, which was still far cheaper than the SGI that they had.
Oh yeah, because the SGI itself was $50,000.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you had to purchase the maintenance agreement. Yeah. And then on top of that, if you got Softimage, you had to pay for that.
Yeah.
That was subscription. And you had to pay for the maintenance agreement on that as well. So you're spending $100,000 already. And are you going to ever make back that money? When are you going to make back that money? Whereas with our setup that we had with the video toaster, LightWave, and all that sort of thing, and the PAR card, we made back our money in what, 1 or 2 jobs at the most.
Exactly. And the other thing too, you get Softimage, or it wasn't Maya yet. It was Alias Wavefront still, and those things look like crap. Because I remember sitting down at them and hitting render, and I'm like, wow, this looks like crap. It just doesn't look good. LightWave always had an amazing renderer from day one.
Yes.
I stand by that.
I
and
agree.
and you didn't need a third-party renderer.
No.
But Softimage, you never rendered. Those people never rendered with that renderer. They bought RenderMan, which was another
Yep.
$20,000.
Yes.
Maya eventually, Alias turned into Maya,
Mhm.
and when it first shipped, it had a shitty renderer again.
Yeah.
And then they partnered with Mental Ray.
Yeah.
And then that was a separate cost for a while until Maya was included. Mental Ray was included with Maya, and then now it's Arnold, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, LightWave always had an amazing renderer, and you didn't need to buy a third-party renderer. Nowadays you can get Octane for it, and
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
maybe something else. But
Well, and don't forget too, back in the early day, there was no After Effects. And
Right.
so we used to do all our compositing in LightWave with the foreground alphas and all that.
Really?
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was lucky. I had the company I worked at had a Flame.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we were able to do
Yeah.
really nice compositing.
No, we didn't. Our compositing all happened within LightWave
Wow.
and alpha channels and making alpha channels and
Wow.
and that sort of
Give
thing.
you props for that, because that would have been difficult.
Well, I give Dave props for that because he was the one who taught me how to do it.
Yeah.
But that's what we used to do to make things happen, because you couldn't. And then the other part of it too is we render out these really huge backgrounds only so that we can animate within minutes instead of hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was always a really good deal too. I mean, because I'll tell you, I worked on Max Steel, the TV show, and one of the things we did was, Dave Gerard came up with this spinning light trick, which was awesome.
I used that.
Right. And then, but the thing is that it still took time to render and all that sort of thing. So then, and I don't think at the time we could bake textures. So what we were doing is we were rendering everything out with a light pass, and then we'd go in and we would further enhance the light pass.
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? What's that, Steve?
All right. It is that time.
What is that?
This is something I'm going to share later on. So let's see. I am going to bring your screen back up, Tony. I think you stop deleting your screen. Leave it up there.
Oh, sorry.
Just leave it there. Leave it there for Steve to play with.
Okay. All right. Tell your screen.
All right. I'm going to put on my camera is on. Cool. All right. I'm going to share your screen. Okay. I think it's your screen. Is that your screen?
Yeah. You see a bunch of ants?
Tony Reed. So that is your screen. Add to the stage. Before presenting the screen, media. Oh, I guess I didn't remove mine. Let me remove mine. Very good. And add yours.
Yeah.
Okay. You are live. So now, before we get started, everybody who just joined us on Twitch here, just an FYI, let me share this real quick. Give me a hot second. We have an official Discord page, and it's pretty cool. Okay. Checking so BlendWave just came in, and Tissue Boo made a comment. They made a comment about what a cute kitchen that was.
Oh, thank you.
So we're currently now. You welcome everybody to the Blender 3D roundtable discussions. We do this every Saturdays. Saturdays from 10 a.m. Pacific time to 1 p.m. once again Pacific time, and it's 3 hours. So we go an hour and a half, take a 15-minute break, and then we finish up. We have Tony Rizzo, who's a professor in San Bernardino, or is it Riverside?
No, it's I'm out in Fontana, and actually I'm not. I was teaching adjunct, but I'm actually support staff at Riverside City College. I'm a multimedia graphic artist over there.
Okay, multimedia. So that includes everything. We also have Kevin Fanning, who is an incredible animator. You're going to get to see a little bit of his skills in just a moment. And then I'm your host, Stephen Burns. I'm an author, digital artist, also instructor. Have a great. I personally started off in LightWave and like these guys here, like Tony and Kevin. We all came over from LightWave onto Blender. So we're pretty excited about where it's going. I also do lectures at San Diego Comic Con every year on Blender. Also at WonderCon, which is San Diego Comic Con in Anaheim, I do a Blender presentations there. I'm a speaker there, and also a speaker at the Los Angeles Comic Con in Blender 3D and Unreal Engine. So if anybody here who happens to be at any of those conventions or going to be at those conventions, make sure you attend my presentations. I would love to see you in person. So okay, so we kind of got started off today talking about Blender and AI and the use of Blender and AI. So I'm gonna hand it back over to Tony and let Tony share more of his wonderful work.
Okay, great. So so as we were talking about AI and websites like Tripio and that sort of thing. So I originally put my little popsicle guy sketch into it, and this is what it came up with. And this is really pretty cool. It really did a good job, pretty good job. But you can see, come on, here we go. But you can see issues that the topology is having. So you have to go back in and you have to fix that. But there's too much geometry to really kind of animate with something like this. It just would be horrible. Same sort of thing, but it can get you started. It can get you started. So it's always something to consider. Or sometimes it'll give you extra things like these teeth right here. I didn't want those teeth. The other thing that Tripio will do, and I have not done it yet, but it can separate things out. So if I ran it again, I could probably separate the eyeballs and the teeth and the tongue and that sort of thing. But to animate this tongue would just be horrible, I think, if I didn't sub-D it, and have a low resolution sub-D version of it with some bones, because that's how I would have actually animated in LightWave. But it gets you there. It gives you a good visual to see what your topology could be too. Here's my little spud, my zombie spud. The problem with oh my gosh, the geometry is horrible, but it again gives you an idea. I do like the texture of it, but if you look at the texture map, it's horrible. And it gave me extra stuff that I didn't want, and it didn't really push out. If you look, it didn't push out any of these drips into other drips, and see how it's tearing over here.
Mm.
So there's some of the limitations you have. Although I do like the way that it made these little, this part of the brain, which I was trying to figure out, how am I going to do that? I was actually trying, when I was replicating this.
It's the sculpting brush.
The sculpting brush is flipping awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I mean, yes, that's the way to go.
The speed of the brush is pretty much close to ZBrush.
Yes.
Not right on.
I've noticed that. And the cool thing is that, and then you could just retopo it, which I'll probably wind up doing something with this. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. The biggest thing one of the projects I was working on is actually, it's called Cherry on Top. And this is one of the little characters. I'm going to animate this with both motion capture and I don't know you can add layered animation, I think it's called, where you can have something on top of it and you can tweak the motions and that sort of thing. But I use ChatGPT to create the character kind of the way I wanted it. And then I brought it in, and here's his little buddy, and it's Jerry and Gary. And the little short, Jerry and Barry. The little short is Cherry on Top. And the goal for these guys is to take this cherry and get it inside the anthill. And they fail every step of the way. until finally they even have I have a jetpack.
That's cool.
It did a good job with the jetpack.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. Can you imagine modeling the jetpack? I mean, it wouldn't take long to model it, but it's just like, oh crap, another thing I got to model, right?
Yeah.
Or even this right here, this slingshot, right?
Yeah.
The majority of the slingshots made, I don't need to worry about this little piece right here. And as far as this is concerned, yeah, I could just rip that off, no problem. I'll use the Atlas map. I can just rip everything off that I don't need. I probably have to do some sort of cloth sim or something on this, because he puts the cherry in there, and he tries to use the slingshot to put it up into the anthill, which doesn't work. And it overshoots, and the little guy Barry, he decides to use this, and it jacked it up. It did great from one side, but this side is just absolutely horrible. So I have to remodel this in Blender. But it turned out so he's just gonna blow the shit up. That's gonna be the end of it. So that's the other little project that I'm working on. But I think these AI tools have a place with us, and it's really great for, I think, conceptualizing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
This is a zombie chocolate bar that I wanted to make. Zombie chews. See how this it gave it extra teeth back here. I don't know, but the topology for this is crazy. And if you try to animate the mouth shapes, the phenomes for this, it would be horrible.
Yeah.
I'd have to retopo the whole thing, and then like I did that's why I did the popsicles by hand. I didn't use this. I mean, I used this conceptually, but I rebuilt the popsicles by hand on purpose so that I can make the mouth shapes very easily.
I wonder if you can have it build you a model that's more of a resting pose face kind of a thing, Yeah. You know what it looks like with his mouth open and his tongue out, but like, can you get a version of the model where it's more of a neutral pose where you can start to sculpt your own mouth shapes,
Yeah. So I was looking for that little thing that I had with him. Where is it? I do all kinds of crazy stuff. I thought I know I had it. They were just mouth shapes for the ant. Oh, here it is. So there's a plugin called Stopify for Blender, and this is really great. It's kind of like the 3D version of Character Animator with the phenomes and that sort of thing. So the thought process for these guys was to actually just make the mouth shapes and then just swap them out using Stopify. But I haven't really truly explored that just yet.
So is it a 3D swapping thing that's happening?
Yeah.
Okay. It takes a model, and at frame 5, it pops this model in.
Yeah.
In 7, it pops it. Okay. That's like something I used back in the 90s. I'm trying to remember the name of that.
Yeah. There was a couple of things. One
for LightWave too.
Was it Tafa?
No.
Because that was what's his name that did the tiger animation.
Oh yeah. No, I can't remember what it was called, but it was something you basically made either 2D or 3D. Actually, it was for LightWave also, because you could remember LightWave called them endomorphs.
Oh yeah.
So if you made a bunch of 10 endomorph shapes in LightWave, it would read that in the model, and then you could just pop in a sound file with talking.
Yeah.
It would either automatically put in the shapes, or you could define which frames the shapes go in. It sounds like that is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I know for LightWave it was called Tafa lip sync. You're not thinking of that 2D version of Magpie? Are you thinking of Magpie?
Magpie. Yeah.
Oop, that's not what I wanted.
Magpie also had a 3D
Yes.
LightWave output.
Yes. Yeah. This is what I remember Taffa for LightWave.
I don't think I ever used that one.
I never used it. I can't remember the guy's name that did it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Eric Ericles is really, he has a lot of great LightWave tutorials.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, I really like this stuff. Yeah, so these are some of the projects I work on, stuff like this. Those are two main animated projects I'm working on, as far as that. And I may, I watched a video on making molds from 3D printed objects for chocolate. And I thought to myself, I could do this. I could, where is it? Where's my zombie chew over here? I have this model right here, and I could probably make a mold out of silicone and then actually make an actual chocolate bar out of it, which is crazy because we could never do that before, but now you can do that.
You could make an ice cube tray for those. Oh my gosh. Too.
That would be so funny.
Yeah.
That would be so funny. But yeah. So those are things I'm working. Those are two big little things I'm working on. Cool. Steve, I'll give it back to you, Steve.
Oh, all right. So, Kevin, you're next. Go ahead and share your screen. I'm going to take him off.
All right. I guess the only thing I'll really show is kind of what we were talking about earlier with the. Let's see, where is this audio?
Share your screen.
Let's share audio. Share tab audio.
And while you're getting ready to share your screen, I'll go to this mode here. So everybody, at about 12:45, at the end of our presentation, we're going to be doing a giveaway, the 5-week Blender 3D workshop, which you don't want to miss. So if I'm in a good mood, we may give 2 giveaways. So we'll see. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. People want to go outside and play. Kevin, are you? Oh, yes, he is. Kevin, I'm sharing Kevin's screen now. All right, take it away, Kevin.
I'll just touch on something Tony was talking about earlier, and Steve was too, about shape keys. When I was starting to learn Blender, I kind of needed to force myself into a project, or else I was just going down tutorial hell, the rabbit hole, not really doing anything with it. So I picked a clip from a movie called Little Shop of Horrors, and I reanimated my own Audrey creature, which is the plant. It's a giant plant in the movie that eats people, in case you didn't know anything about the film. So I took only the shots from the film that I wanted to animate, and I'll just show you that real quick. Hopefully the audio comes through. But
oh boy, look, I got an idea. I'm gonna go down to Schmendrick's and pick up some nice chopped sirloin. Must be blood. Julie, that's disgusting. I don't want to hear this.
I love it.
Does it have to be human?
I love this scene.
Where am I supposed to get it? Feed me Seymour. Feed me all night long.
That's all I animated, because I just, this was an experiment for me for modeling the creature, and then, figuring out how to animate it, how to rig it, what am I going to do with all these tentacles and things like that? How do I get things in motion? Here's just one of the shots in here. So I'm kind of just taking it shot by shot, and I'll recreate the camera motion here too, because I'll need my, I really wanted it to look like this was a shot from the film. So I animated the camera to move the same way that the camera did during that real shot. And then I'm just kind of animating over it with my own model. But I'll show you, my model actually has two halves. It's not one continuous, it's not one giant model. It's got a separate jaw from the head. But the jaw model itself has shape keys that I've built into it. So I'll model like a whole bunch of different things that will allow me to mix and match all these shape keys in order to get the mouth shapes that I need. And, I'll do these, on whatever frame I need to during the animation. Let's see. Yeah, I painted the texture map on this too, and the leaves are simply subdivided polygons with texture mapped images of these leaves that have alpha channels on them, so that they just cut themselves out, and then I'm loosely shrink wrapping it and then freezing that shape, and then I'm roughing it up with a noise texture to get it to be a little leafier looking, so it's not just completely smooth when it's around the head of this thing. So part of the animation for this guy is actually animating, the mouth moving. Whoops, that's right. I had bones in this guy. This is what happens when you don't use something for a while. So yeah, I have bones in the model to animate the jaw opening and closing. So when I'm animating a shot like this, I'll just roughly go in and animate the jaw opening and closing. And then I'll go back and start to animate after that the shape keys that I've built into the model to give, the model its actual.
Oh boy, look. That sirloin must be blood. Tony, that's disgusting.
And he's got a tongue too, which helps, with dialogue. And after I'm done animating a shot too, like this shot itself has, when they're on set with this, when they filmed this movie, there were no computer graphics in it. They built this Audrey thing, and it was huge. And they were like a team of puppeteers moving this thing. And what they actually did was, because it was so complicated to move, they would actually film at 8 frames per second, which is 1/3 of 24 frames per second. So they were on set puppeteering this thing very slowly to the dialogue and to the music. And then when they play it back in real time, it's moving really fast and the mouth shapes are perfectly, in sync. So that's how they were doing it on set. But because it was a foam rubber object, they had, as they would move it, I noticed it was kind of jiggling around and stuff. So after I animated my shots, I would add in a soft body on top of that motion that I did. So it would just add this little bit of rubberiness at the very end, of all of my animations that I were doing. It might be really hard to. Some of the scenes are harder to notice it on, but some it shows up more, like
blood.
So that kind of just rubberiness is coming from the soft body added onto my animation afterwards.
Must be fresh. I don't want to hear this. Does it have to be human? Does it have to be mine? Where am I supposed to get it?
Now in this shot here, again, I take the shot into Blender and I use it as a reference. And I'm basically now in this shot, you can see that the camera kind of pans with him as he's moving to the right. So I'm doing that in my animation also, so that everything stays lined up. And also he's walking in front of it. So in After Effects, after I rendered the shot out, I rotoscoped him and put him back in front. Let me see if I can find this shot real quick.
We would love one day if you would consider showing us the rotoscoping process for that scene.
Roto's pain.
No.
That's one thing I don't mind AI taking from me.
Have you seen Premiere's new rotoscoping tool?
No.
It's pretty good. It makes quick work of something like this, but at the same time, it's still memory intensive. It's still intensive. And
yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't do a great roto job. This wasn't a movie where some supervisor is going to pick apart my work.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't take me that long to do it. But what I wanted to show you was when he walks in front of Audrey, he's casting a shadow over Audrey as he walks by. That's the way it was in the film. The actor was casting a shadow across, the plant when he walked by. So what I did in my animation was I just made a stand-in of the guy that looks like this. So if you look at this scene, I'm just animating a rough stand-in object. I don't need it to be perfect because I just need it to look like a shadow is moving across Audrey.
Yeah.
And that's what you get. But it really helps to connect the scene to your CG
Yes.
stuff when you drop it in.
Did you? How did you make your background plate?
I was just gonna say what I did was I took a still frame of this scene into ChatGPT and I asked it to get rid of the guy and the plants and everything.
Nice.
But it didn't do what I wanted it to do because look at the original scene. It's got so much stuff in it.
Oh my gosh.
So it kind of got rid of mostly everything. So, but I didn't care because it's like what you were saying, Tony. No one's gonna notice. So I just went with it because this scene is a background created in ChatGPT, and I have it just projected loosely onto. I just have to wait till my graphics card here populates my. I have that frame that it gave me, and I'm just front projecting it onto some simple geometry.
Nice. Yeah.
In the room behind it. So I had to make a clean plate that way for that shot. Here's the plate again for this scene. There is more stuff in the room. It just left it out, and I didn't feel like fighting with it, to get what I wanted. So, so that's how I just did a quick shot, like that. Normally, I would obviously have all the stuff in the room, but that wasn't really what I was going for. Now that the tentacles are always kind of in motion here. And what I did for that was there's a thing in Blender. I got a lot of stuff in the scene here. So what I did was I just made one tentacle and I gave it a bone chain in it. So I gave it a bone chain, and there's a bone constraint. Let's see, where am I? If I go into pose mode here, there's a bone constraint called damped track, and what it does is it kind of adds a slight delay. So what I did was because of the number of bones in here, I had to add damp track on all of them. And then there's an influence value, and this really sets how much it lags or is more fluid-like or more stiff-like.
Mhm.
how it moves. So all of the bones have a damp track, and I think the values start to change maybe a little. Actually, no, these guys are all set at 0.7. So I have all the bones with damp track except for the root bone down at the bottom. That guy does not. What it does have is if I go into my graph editor, I have my Z rotation axis, and I have a modifier on there for noise. Now it's hard to tell because it's moving very slowly, but I do have some settings for the noise where it just slowly moves that bone. And because all of the other bones in this chain have damp track on them, they're slowly getting delayed in their movement. So you're getting this kind of fishtail tentacle, effect from that series of damp track bones. All those bones have a slight delay to them, and the end result is I didn't have to animate this thing wiggling. Noise on the bottom bone. If I was to crank up the strength, see, I just cranked up the strength on that thing.
Wow.
So if I dial it down, you get less. You get even less. If I dial this down to 0.005.
That's cool.
So that's how all the tentacles were done. I just did set up one, and then I cloned it and moved it around to set up the other tentacles in the pot. They're all just sitting there as separate objects. Let's see. I think I did another shot later in the movie. If anyone saw the movie, at the end of the movie, like everyone in the world buys these little plants.
Yeah.
And then they grow and they take over the city and basically kill everybody. But they don't. The original ending to this film was very different than the film that you see in the theaters. They spent about another third of that budget that got cut out of the movie because they filmed, and the last 15 minutes of this film is just total mayhem. It's on YouTube. You can find it, the original ending to Little Shop of Horrors. But they deemed that the ending was too dark, and they wanted a happier ending, so they got rid of the ending.
Wow.
But in the ending, the whole world is buying these little plants, and then they grow up and they turn into the size of a city, and they start like fighting the army and everything. So,
wow. I never saw that one.
Yeah, this is my shot here, but
oh, okay. I was gonna say, holy crap! I never saw that ending.
Yeah, there is an ending, and it's pretty low res on YouTube, but you can see it. Just these things are busting through buildings. They're walking. They're stepping on movie theaters and things. But this was another shot I did. I just did it pretty quick, and I already had Audrey built, so that was good. I just downloaded a model city and slapped some textures into it. Let me see if I can find that shot here. Open.
How did you do the flames? Image sequence, or did you actually?
No, I actually normally I do all my compositing like that in After Effects or in my compositing.
Yeah.
In this case, I just did it in camera in Blender. I'll show you in a second as soon as this loads up.
Where'd you get the city from?
I just downloaded it from Sketchfab, I think.
Okay, nice. There's that. What is that? There's this. Well, I think Kitbash 3D. Sometimes they have deals where they give you free cities or free areas. Oh, nice. I love your people walking.
Oh, that was their leftovers from my Blob movie, which I already had them rigged and everything, and I already downloaded the Mixamo animations, of them turning and running and falling and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's wait for this to. It's a heavy scene, especially while I'm streaming. My computer's crawling. Hey, where's my? Oh, okay. I don't have them turned on. Hold on here.
Oof, buddy, look at that car. Downloaded that taxi, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If I don't have to build it, I don't want
I totally agree. You know, I do like the fact that I know how to build it, or I know how to do XXX.
Yeah.
I did have ChatGPT help me write an HTML video game, shooting game.
Oh.
But I don't know how to do any of the game logic in HTML. So I had to have a friend help me. And at one point he goes, "Yeah, I'm not helping you anymore."
It's a lot of work.
It is, and that's why I say, you know, the fact that we have that, traditional knowledge, and yeah, I understand that it's gonna make our skills anemic, but I think
So Ace Hoffman mentioned that those tentacles are great. I'm still traumatized by the movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Actually, that was my mom's favorite movie.
Oh yeah.
But whenever I came to visit, she'll make a voice going, "Feed me, Seymour."
Yeah. Nice.
So these are flat polygons with the explosions mapped to them. Is what I'm getting at here. There's little.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Ground fires down here. Yeah, sorry guys, my computer's moving really slow with this scene. So yeah, it's just a flat poly, and I have them tilted toward the camera, or else they get perspective that I don't. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we look through the camera, wow, my computer's.
That's how we did a lot of stuff in Starship Troopers too.
Yeah, you had to just do it in camera, and they also didn't know if they wanted to future-proof the animation with Starship Troopers in case they had to redo it in HD. They just wanted to have everything in camera. That never came about.
Yeah, I looked up Hypernauts when Foundation did Hypernauts. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was a neat one too.
I'm surprised Foundation didn't go the way of Saban. Saban Entertainment.
Yeah.
With the Power Rangers and stuff like that. Who knows how they could have done it, but.
So these polygons are all the explosion polygons, and
nice.
The ones that have fire on them and stuff like that. And the thing is with the damp track modifier, see, I'm scrolling back and forth, and it only calculates forward.
Oh.
So you have to bake it, is what I'm getting at.
Oh, I see.
The first time I ran a render of my scene, I'm like, my tentacles are doing the wrong thing. I'm like, what is happening here? You can't have them live. You have to bake their emotions.
Wow.
So yeah, I think what I did was I just selected all of the bones, and I think I went to pose, animation, and bake action. I think is what I went to here. So yeah, it would just bake it all into keyframes, and then I would save a second version of the scene because I want to be able to go back to the scene where they're not baked, so that I could change some motion settings on them or something like that. So I always had the master shot and then the baked shot for rendering.
That's really cool, man. That's a lot of work, my friend. That is a lot of work.
It would be if I had to build this city, but and the cars and all these things. But I'm faster at animating. The thing that takes forever is having to build everything before I can even animate. That's what's frustrating for me. Is if I could work with someone who loves to model, go for it. Build all the stuff. I just like animating it, doing the final camera shots and everything.
Yeah. Well, Blender's pretty incredible with some of the stuff with some of the scripts that they have, where it's geometry nodes this and geometry nodes that. It's crazy where you don't have to build nearly as much as you used to. You know,
I'll just show another real quick thing, and it has some shape keys in it. I did this around Halloween time, but
Got candy? Hand it over before I start glowing angry red.
is that 11 Labs?
the voices, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So I just went in my backyard with my phone and shot a piece of footage.
Uh-huh.
And you don't, I don't know if I have the footage anymore, but under this guy is added, obviously, this pumpkin here. These two in the background are real. Those are things my wife has, and, you know, they're out there painted. So I painted my guy to look like them, you know, so that he would fit in. But when I was shooting this, obviously he wasn't there. What I had was a little white ball on the ground. So I'm just covering him up right now. So I went into After Effects and I did a 3D track of the scene so that it could identify, you know, the ground plane in the background and all this stuff. Let me see if I even have this shot real quick. I don't remember where everything is anymore. Oh boy, what's the name of it? Let's see, blob, turkey, blanch. Oh, and also the in order to put them on the ground, you know, the grass, I hadn't mowed the grass, so it was kind of tall. And, you know, you want it to look like it's there. So I actually, this is 3D grass under him. So I have a patch of, you know, 3D grass here, which I color matched into the scene.
Well, nice.
Because if this grass wasn't here, he would just have a smooth bottom and it wouldn't look like he's sitting in the grass. And if you had to composite it with some sort of, you know, rotoscoping or something, blades of grass, like, you don't want to do that. So once you have a good 3D track, you can really start adding anything into your shots. And this guy has, he's got, you know, a bunch of shape keys also, right? Have eye blinking and open and closed mouth stuff. Yeah. So yeah, shape keys are great because you can, you know, they're non-destructive. So if you need more, you just come into the shape key panel, click plus, you know, go sculpt, you know, a new shape. If you tab into edit mode and you go to your new shape that you added, make sure that it's selected, not another shape. If I go to, see if I'm in point mode here. This is where proportional editing helps because it can help grab sections of, you know, your model. So this is kind of how I make up the shape keys as I go in and grab, you know, different sections of the model and create poses and things like that. I did a better job than I'm showing you here, but
yeah, no, I get it.
Do as I say, not as I do. So, yeah, so that's how this dude is.
Did you? So you loaded the audio file into Blender?
Yeah, I open up a video tab, and here's the 11 Labs audio file. I do kind of wish LightWave had a nicer version of doing this. I always feel like it's kind of cumbersome in Blender. Yeah, you have to go in the video tab. If you have a piece of video, you would load that in also.
Does it show you the waveform?
Not that I know of. You know what? There might be a way to see it, but at least you can hear it. You know, while scrubbing.
Yeah, LightWave layout. You could load the waveform. You could load the audio, and you can see the waveform.
Yeah, you're right. I remember it would pop up in that little menu right above here. You could see the. I find as long as I can scrub and hear it.
Yeah.
'Cause I think I'm trying to remember where it is. There's something about enabling audio scrubbing or something. I forget what menu it's in now. I'm just going through my stuff real quick to see if there's anything interesting. Here's just a quick test of some stuff. You were talking, Tony, earlier about using ChatGPT or anything to generate texture maps quickly. I did I'm a big Ray Harryhausen fan, so I did a thing on a little quick thing for like Jason and the Argonauts.
Oh, God,
and I used the texture maps to create the shield things.
Oh man, that's great. Love that.
I thought the best recreation of this concept was in Game of Thrones when they were at the tree. I forget the name of the tree. It was the tree. I don't know if it housed an oracle, but around the base of the tree were the bodies of dead soldiers that came up out of the ground to fight the soldiers that was that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, it was in the snow or something, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Those,
that was like best homage to Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah, that was a cool
It was frightening to watch.
Yeah.
Did you hand animate the skeletons, or was that?
No, this is all motion. You have to animate some things because it's not. Long story short, it's all motion capture stuff from Mixamo.
Yeah.
I couldn't find Greek soldier models, so I ended up with these knights. I think I downloaded the knight model from Mixamo also.
Oh, okay.
So after I downloaded the motions that I wanted for everybody, the skeletons and these guys, I modeled a shield for the skeletons. The knights came with their own shields. So the skeletons I modeled, and then I had to, parent the shield to like the wrist bone on the skeleton or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, the texture mapping, like look at those are pretty cool designs for shields. I just prompted it for, a circular Greek, I forget what my prompt was, but some sort of circular Greek shields for soldiers, or something. I kind of gave it, make one an octopus, one's a skull, and it kind of came up with some. All I did was in Blender, I added some more grunge to it because it gave me a clean version. I wanted it to look a little more beat up, so I just, mixed in a kind of a splattery noise texture, on top of it to rough it all up. Here was another test of something. I was experimenting with the flame stuff in Blender, the fire and smoke.
He needs a bigger shield, don't you think?
Yeah, he probably shouldn't be. I don't know. I don't think wearing that metal uniform is. It's just going to heat up and melt in there.
He's gonna fry for sure.
This is actually this creature is from my LightWave days, probably in the early 2000s. I worked on a commercial for I'm on the East Coast, so there's a park called Hershey Park, It's an amusement park, and they had a ride called Hydra. It's a roller
Oh.
coaster, and it was called Hydra. So I had to build, a 7-headed Hydra, my
Wow.
homage to Ray Harryhausen,
Uh-huh.
and I animated it. So I had these LightWave models, which over the years find their way into Blender. I start bringing them in and remodeling
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So I took this one guy, and actually this head of this Hydra started off as a T-Rex that I had built in LightWave. So I ripped the head off and stretched the neck out to give it. To make
Did you ever do spline modeling in LightWave?
Yeah, a little bit.
I was taught by Larry Schultz.
Yeah, he was the spline god.
Yeah.
I
He's
never
awesome.
really got into it because I don't know, it wasn't that intuitive for me. Spline modeling.
What really got me about LightWave is, as good of a tool as it was, there was never enough information on how the tools worked. And so we talk about spline modeling, right? There was really not much on the correct process of spline modeling unless you watched Larry or a few other people. They needed I think Autodesk and later on 3D Studio Max came out with 3D Studio Max University or something like that. And LightWave really needs, someone to come out with LightWave University.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of tutorials and stuff, but
that's what's good about Blender. There's so much Blender stuff online.
Yes.
The community is the largest 3D community.
Is it bigger than Max?
What's that?
Is it bigger than 3D Studio Max?
I think so. If you look at the number of downloads Blender gets a year, it's millions. It's in the millions. Wow. And maybe a fraction of them are actually using it professionally, but I believe it's the most used 3D software personally.
And it's getting better and better and better. And no shade on LightWave. I love LightWave.
Yeah. I'll just show you this other one real quick so I don't hog everyone's time. But this was one of my other first projects with learning Blender because I needed to learn how to rig models and do weight painting and all that stuff. So I'm a big fan of the Fantasia movie from 1940, the Disney film.
Yes, I love that.
The Rite of Spring sequence is what I'm doing here. So,
wow, that looks great. I love it.
That's as far as I got.
That was pretty incredible, man.
So, fun fact, I started this in LightWave. So the first few shots are LightWave shots. And as I was learning Blender, I'm like, how do you do toon shading in Blender? Like, how do I get the line drawing? And, there's actually three main methods in Blender for doing cartoon outlining stuff. I use the one called Freeform. There's grease pencil, but that really slows down your interface because it's actually adding geometry into the scene projected from the camera. So I ended up using the Freeform method in Blender to do all my cartoon, the line shading and stuff. So that's a pretty neat thing too, because you got all kinds of control with your line quality and the line colors and how smooth the line looks or not smooth. I did all the compositing in After Effects, so these scenes don't exist. All the backgrounds and foregrounds is all done in After Effects in 2D.
Now with the rise of Blender's compositing, are you going to switch to compositing in Blender now?
Eventually I'm not going to have my Adobe subscription anymore. I think,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, me too. To be honest with
and
you.
sadly, there's nothing like After Effects, and I really wish there was.
I thought there's something came out called Affinity or something like that.
Affinity has a suite that's supposed to be a competitor to Adobe Suite.
Yeah.
It's not like After Effects though. I mean,
Right.
they really have the corner on that. I don't know if it's a patent. Like, I don't know why there isn't a competitor for After Effects. I mean, I could go back to node compositing, which obviously Blender has nodes. I used to use Nuke when we worked on the movies, and there's a Nuke open source software called Natron, which I don't know how these guys aren't getting sued, because it is exactly like Nuke. It is the same keyboard commands, the layout, the design of the interface, everything is the same. So there's that, but yeah, I can go back to that, but it's layer-based compositing is faster for me than node-based compositing. But,
I agree.
I can do it. It's just more brain power.
Exactly. No, I totally get it, because we grew up on layer-based compositing with the Photoshop and then After Effects, and
and Flame.
So Xander 5K made a comment. He says, "I want to learn this shit so badly, but it's such a commitment." Okay, Xander, listen up. It is a learning curve, yes, but it's well worth it, and it requires patience. Being an artist always requires patience. There's nothing you can do about it. So you're learning one step at a time, and that kind of brings up my opportunity to do a little bit of a. Actually, are you pretty much done, Kevin?
I can be done. Yes. You have to shut me up, Steve.
So I tell you what, I'll share my screen. That kind of brings to. Let me go ahead and share. And I'm going to bring up Blender here again as well. Let's bring up Blender here real quick. That's gonna bring up an opportunity for me to share the workshops that I teach. So I'm the lead Blender instructor over at Studio Arts. Let me bring over the web page. So I don't know if you guys know Studio Arts, but Studio Arts is a training institution in Los Angeles. So I'm going to show you the classes I teach there. I teach a few different classes, so they're all Blender classes. I'm the lead Blender instructor there. Let me bring up my face here real quick just so you guys can put this over to the side. There we go. That's cool. Let me share my screen. Cool. There we go. Got it. All right. So at Studio Arts, I do the Blender courses, the Blender 101. I also do the Blender AI and also the Blender 201. That's not listed yet. That'll be listed here pretty soon. I just started this one here. This started last week. So, but I'm also, if you go to I'm going to give you the link to this for you guys' convenience. So let me go over here to, there we are. Kind of post this in the chat box. There we go. So that's the link to Studio Arts. Now I'm going to show you my personal workshops. Now I only allow 8 students, okay? And they're on Sunday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for 5 weeks. They're 5-week classes. So workshops, I'm going to give you the link to my personal website for your convenience as well. Okay, and we're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to do a giveaway of these workshops right at about 12:45 or so. So that's my personal website. Let me go over to the workshops. Go to the Blender 3D at the bottom, and a few workshops are coming. The May 3rd starts the Blender. Actually, this one already started. We just started the Blender animation class last week. That'll go for 5 weeks, and then we jump into the Introduction to Blender 3D. So this is the class I'm going to be giving away. This is the one where you guys are going to get a good foundation in Blender for those who know very little or nothing at all about Blender. So that's pretty much the majority of the people out there. We got some people who learn through tutorials on YouTube, but they have never had a complete solid class that gives you the foundation of Blender. And I just posted that link there. Now, if you didn't win the class today, which you're going to be doing in a little bit, then you just register for it, and I'm going to give you a discount code. All right, I'm going to type in here, spell discount right, discount code SDPUG 2026. Okay, so let me put that in the chat box. And right there, use that discount code to sign up for the class. So if you don't win it, come over and register for it. It's a very good class, and it's a lot of fun. And again, I only allow 8 people, so I keep the class very private and very small. So all right, so let's go play in Blender. All right, I've got a fun little tutorial. And we're going to make something like, bubbles, iridescent bubbles. But we're going to add some shading techniques I think very few people know about. So let's start with this. Let's go ahead and we're gonna these bubbles are going to be emitting from a particle emitter. So we're going to use particles for this particular little tutorial. So I'm using Blender 5.1.1. So make sure you're always using the latest, greatest in Blender. Let's see. Tony Rizzo made a comment here. I think it was, so although he's an accomplished 3D artist with LightWave, I took 3 of Steve's classes to get me over the hump. When it came to Blender, it really helped me to fast track my knowledge of Blender, and we had a good time learning. Thank you, Tony.
Oh no, it's great. I'm not kidding. I had such a brain block because you're coming from a different piece of 3D software, and your brain is 180 degrees in the opposite direction. And when you have some, a knowledgeable person who's guiding you, you really made a difference, Steve. And it really, I can do a lot now.
Good. Well, you're welcome. That's great. So let's go have some more fun. Let's bring in a sphere. So I'm going to bring in a sphere. Shift A, mesh. Go to UV sphere, and I'm looking at it in the materials view. If I hit the Z key on the keyboard, we're going to go over my options for viewing this one. Let's go to solid view, and let's have some fun. Let's give this a subdivision surface, just to give it a little bit of a smoothing to it. So get my little blue wrench, right-hand side, vertical icons on the right-hand side with the colorful icons, I like to say. Add a modifier, go to generate. Actually, not generate, but go to deform. And actually, no, let's go to generate first. Let's go to add a subdivision surface first. It's subdivided it once. We're going to subdivide it twice. I think that'll work just fine. If we right click on it, if you take a look closer, they're kind of faceted still, but we can change that visually. So easy peasy. If you right click, you can tell it to auto shape flat, which is what it is now. And if you're doing 3D printing, you want to work in the flat mode. You do not want to work in smooth, and you do not want to work in the shade. So if we go to, I'm going to go over here to auto smooth, and that'll smooth it out. Since we're going to do something for CG purposes and not for 3D printing, we're going to go with that one there. Okay, let's add a displacement to this one. We're going to go over here to our modifier, add modifier. We're going to add deform, and we're going to add displace. Now we need to displace it in a irregular way. So we're going to add some procedural, some black and white information to create peaks and valleys. So white information creates your peaks, and your black information becomes more of your valleys. And we're going to do that using a procedural by adding a texture. So if we come over to our modifier, we just added a new modifier of pierce. The first modifier is our subdivision surfaces. And let's go ahead and just close that up. And right down here is my displacement. So right here is my texture option. I'm going to click on new. And then down on the texture, which is your little checkered flag here, I'm going to go ahead and grab that. We're going to tell it to choose a particular style of texture. It's going to ask you, well, what texture you want to use. If I drop it down, it's going to be nothing in there because I haven't created one yet. But if we come right over here to the type of texture, we can choose an image or a movie or any of these procedurals. So I'm going to select the procedurals clouds. There. Okay. So what this did was it's displacing the information. So where you see black information are your valleys, and where you see the white information on the texture are your peaks. Okay. All right. Now, before I apply this, I'm going to kind of alter this a little bit. Go to the sizing and smooth it out. Smooth it out like that. Kind of make it look like a little bubbly type of shape being, deformed. If I come over to the size and type in 4 instead of 2, there we go. We got a smooth little misshapen bubble there. All right, now it's time to texture it. Now this is going to be the fun part. We're going to move this off to the side because we're going to save that for a particle emitter. So I'm going to move this way to the side. Hit the period key, which is going to jump to the view of my selected object. And we're going to hit the Z key, and we're going to give us our viewing modes. And right at the bottom, we're going to go to the material. Okay, so here's where the fun begins. I am going to, let me kind of go over here and grab my other, there we are. There we go. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go grab the, let me stop that. There we go. Go to here. I'm going to grab, there we go. That's it. All right. So with the bubble selected, we need to add a material to it. So I'm going to come down to the bottom, click on the material. We don't have a material yet. I'm going to click new. Let's rename this bubble. All right. So as you know, got our materials all set up, and I'm going to come right over. And I'm going to go to I'm going to do another tab here right at the bottom. Bottom left-hand corner, get the plus, drag it up. We're going to split off another window. Nice little workflow for Blender, being able to split off windows. And you can do multiple windows even down in each of these little segments. I want to alter this to my shading window. So at the top left-hand corner of that new window that I created, I'm going to click it down, and it's currently in my 3D viewer option. We're going to come on down to shader view, and we're going to have our nodes. Okay, now we're going to have some fun. Okay. All right. Now, by default, you get your principal BSDF. So what this node is doing is it's giving you real, true to life renderings as you would see it in reality. I don't want this right now. I want to create a bubble. I want it to be transparent. I want it to have a kind of, what's the word for it? A Fresnel type of an effect on the surface. So I'm going to alter this. So we're going to get rid of it. So I'm going to delete the shader, and we're going to just delete it. Now your object goes black, obviously. Okay. And I'm going to mute Kevin's microphone because I can hear him typing. Okay. So it goes black. Now we're going to add in a couple of shaders. The shaders are the very thing that's going to add the surface value. So one's going to be a transparent shader, and the other one's going to be a glossy shader. So to find them, I'm going to go split this directly in half. Shift A, click on the search, and just type in TR for transparent. TRA, transparent is right there, not translucent, but transparent. And I'm going to drop it right there, just to the left side of the material output. The material output is the thing that's going to allow you to view your texture. There's no shader telling it how to view it, so connected to it yet. So that's why it's black. We're going to add one more shader. It's called a glossy shader. Shift A again, hit the search bar, type in GLOS, GLO, glossy. It found it. And we're going to set it right down below this one. So the goal here is that we're going to join these two together. Okay? We're going to join these two together. So in order to join the two shaders together, we have to use a mechanism that's going to take the effects, 50% of the effects of one and 50% of the effects of the other, and blend them together. That's called a mixed shader node. So Shift A, hit your search bar, type in MIX, right there, mixed shader, not mixed color, not mixed vector, but mixed shader, because we want to mix two shading devices, or nodes, I should say. Select it, there it is, drop it down right here. I'm going to move this over a little bit to here. Now all we're going to do is we're going to blend these two shaders together. We're going to take, you can see right down here, shader 1, shader 2, put one on the top, put the other one in the bottom, and now we're going to connect them to the surface. There, see? So we're getting a combination of the two. If I take the slider and move to the right, it becomes glossy completely, 100% glossy. If I go to the middle, it becomes 50% of each. But if I go all the way to the left, it becomes complete transparent, representing the transparent shader. Okay, so we're going to leave it in the middle for now. So it's getting a combination of the two. If I move it around, you get to kind of see what it's actually doing. Now, you want to make sure that you're not going to be in EV for this next step. Now, we're viewing it in the shader mode right now. But you want to make sure that you're going to be inside of Cycles, which is your true ray tracing engine. So that's your ray tracer. EV is not a ray tracer. Okay, it works like OpenGL, but the EV in Blender is now utilizing the new. If I go to my Edit Preferences and come over to System, is using the new Vulkan technology. But you have to activate it here, because by default it's OpenGL in Blender. But if you go to the Vulkan technology, everything in Blender speeds up like 2 to 3 times. All right, so that's the new rendering intent that we're using now. All right, let's get out of here. Okay, so now what we need to do is I'm going to add an effect to these shaders. I want to add the Fresno effect. And what are we going to use to do it? We're going to add a Fresno node. So Shift A, search, and I'm going to type it right here. So Blender is what I want to do. Fresno, there it is. There's the Fresno. So this is the input. This is the input device. If I select it and now connect it, well, we don't want to connect it just yet. Well, yes, we do. We'll go ahead and connect it. That was an accident. Let me get rid of that. Let me hit the delete key. All right. So we're going to connect this. We're going to kind of zoom this down, push it down, and place this on top of the two shaders. I'm going to select them all just so I can move them like this. What this is going to do is we're going to connect this into the factor. This factor is going to control how both of these are going to appear on this bubble. So if I take it and drag it to the factor, look at what it does. It's starting to add that Fresnel effect, right? So let's see, what am I at now? I'm at 1.5, which is default, but if we can go higher or lower, let's go to 1 point. I think what I was playing around with was like 1.09 or 1.1 might work. Let me just do 1.09 just to, because that's what seemed to look great before. All right, so now if we turn it around, you get to see how the Fresnel's working. Is that we're seeing transparency in the center, but it goes to more opacity along the edges. It's a lighting effect. All right, now we can control this. We can control this Fresnel by use of what we call a color ramp. We pull this on back, and we're going to add in another node. Let's pull this one up a little bit. And let's get in a little closer. Shift A. Let's go search for color ramp. It remembered my last time I used this, so it's right there already, but you would type in COL for color, get the color ramp. Now I've got it here, and I'm going to drop it down right in between Fresnel and Mixer, and it automatically connects. I love that aspect of Blender. All right, so what can we do with this? If we play with this, we get to control this a little better. Control how this functions. Now I'm going to put more than one node in here. I'm going to put one more, hit the plus symbol, and take this down to more of a neutral gray, a medium gray node. Now I can play around with it, get a little bit more of a feathering along the edge, and bring this on over as well to add in some of the white. So I'm just going to explore this. We go to something like that. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do something else. I want some color to this. It might be wise to bring in an HDRI background at this point to help light this, and we're going to view this in render mode. Because if I go to Z key now and hit the render option, it's dark in there because there's no lights. I have lights in my scene. I can turn them on, but I don't want to use these lights. What I prefer to do is use an HDRI. So now we're still in our shader. Instead of our object on the top left-hand corner of our shader, let's drop it down and go to world and just bring in an HDRI. I already have my HDRIs, and I should have it sitting here in front of me. Blender project. Let's see. I should have it right there. There it is. In fact, I'll show you guys inside of, well, I had it open inside of Bridge. So I'll go to Bridge real quick. It might be easier. All right, we got Bridge here. Go to my lessons folder. Go find my, I think it's under Twitch right there. I made a new folder for Twitch. And inside of Twitch, I got the 0 dot HDRIs. So I'm going to open them up, and there are my HDRI backgrounds. So let's go grab maybe those trees going to be annoying. Let's try the trees, the autumn forest. So I'm going to take the autumn forest, and let's select the background here. Control T to shortcut for adding my environment texture. Click open. There's my lessons folder. Go to the Twitch. It's not in alphabetical order, so right click, sort by name. Now it's in alphabetical order. Twitch, HDRIs, And let's preview this right up here. Thumbnail view. Now it'll start to preview. So I don't necessarily need bridge. I'm going to shut down bridge because it's a memory hog anyway. And there are all of my images right there. So let's go ahead and grab that one. There it is. I guess we can keep that one. Let me go check another. In fact, it's defaulting to another folder, which annoys me like hell because I did not save this blend file to the proper folder. I'm going to save it to the Twitch. Okay, and we're going to call this one Bubbles, and I'm going to just put Twitch in here so I know this is the one I use for our presentation. So I'm going to come back, click OK. Now, when I go to open, it defaults to the Twitch folder. Go to this one here. Let's go pick another image. Let's pick that one right there. That could work. Okay. That'll work. We'll use this one. All right. Now, let's go back to my object texturing, get out of world, go back to object, and have the bubble selected there. It should be selected. If I come down to here, I want to take the roughness down because it's taking away my reflections, and I want to bring those reflections in there. Let's see how, there we go. And we can control this once again. Let's go over to, we got the mix shader in here. We can control it here because that mix shader now, remember, it's mixing the two together. Well, now it's all being controlled by this color ramp. So we'll see what we can do. So we'll let's bring this over a little bit, see what this does. We'll bring it around. There we go. We're starting to see some reflections in there now, especially in some of the transparent areas. There we go. Let's bring this on over to here. I kind of liked what I was seeing there before. So how about this? Let's I flip that to here. Yeah. I kind of like that. I'm gonna go with that. All right. Last thing we're gonna do. Let's see if we can add some color to this. All right, now this is the fun part. We're gonna add color to the glossy, right? And I suppose I could choose a color, add some red, add some green, add some blue, whatever I want, but I want this to be a particle emitter where each particle is going to have a separate color completely. In fact, let's do that now. Let's do the particle and then we'll come back to this. I'm going to hit Control S. That's bringing our particle emitter. And in fact, it helps if I go back to solid mode so I can see what I'm doing in my scene. And we're going to add the emitter. So Shift A, and all I'm going to do is add a icosphere. Okay, so we got the icosphere. Let's just bring it up here somewhere. Okay, we're going to turn that to an emitter. Right over here, the vertical icons, so the vertical colorful icons. There are two vertical panels, the colorful icons to the right, and when you hit the N key, you've got the vertical icons to the left, which is a different set of properties here, okay? So on the right-hand side, I'm going to hit this particle emitter tab, select it. There's nothing there because we haven't added an emitter yet. You can make an emitter out of anything, any object in Blender. So if I come up in here, let's go to this little plus, grab it. Now we just made it a particle emitter. How do we know that? Push play button on the keyboard. We've got particles. I don't want my particles. Now we need to see our timeline now, right? So we're in modeling mode. Let's go back to layout temporarily. Take a look at my time. I'm going to 250 frames. We'll stick with that for right now. And I want to affect the gravity. So we need to affect the gravity in the particle setting. So go back to this, a particle emitter or particle properties on the right side vertical, the colorful icons. Look in the blue section right below your wrench gear, which is your modifiers. Grab it, and let's put in like 5,000 particles. From here, go down to the bottom where it's going to say field weights. This is where your gravity will be kept. Select it, take gravity down to 0, and watch it come out. There we go. All right, so gravity is obviously stopping at a certain point. So it currently is stopping at 50 for the timeline. So timeline goes 1 to 200, but the lifetime is only lasting 50. Let's put in 100. And let's see what happens. There we go. So now they come out a little bit more. The velocity I might want to affect just a little bit. And that I want them to come out a little bit faster, just a little bit faster. Object velocity, go ahead and give it a little bit. And then I want to randomize that velocity, which will make them a lot more unpredictable. And how right now they're coming out in linear streams. But if I kind of like up that velocity a little bit and see what, there we go. Now it becomes a little more unpredictable and random coming out of there. All right, so we want bubbles, right? We want these to be bubbles, not to be particles. Not to be particles. So let's go down to the render option. So we'll go right down here in the render settings. You'll see a tab saying render. Drop it out. Halo, which is what these are. It's little ping pong looking things, are nothing more and nothing less than halos. Okay, and we are going to check those out. We're going to check those out, get them out of there, and use that bubble. So instead of halo, let's go ahead and get the object. What object? Let's rename this first. So we come up here. Icosphere is called emitter. I'm going to just select it. IEMMMMITER. And the sphere is going to be the bubbles. Spell it right. Cool. All right. I'm going to select the emitter. And nothing's happening because we have not told it what object to actually emit. So we got told it's an object. We don't want to show the emitter in the render, so just get it out. Just uncheck it here. That's all in the render section. And for the object, we're going to drop it and we're going to select bubbles. There we go. Okay, so we got bubbles. I want to adjust the sizing of the bubbles. So let's come down and go to, where is it located? It's right down here at the bottom. I think it's up here. There it is, under render, at the top of render. I think it was more down in the middle of the bottom. But anyways, that's your scale. Shift key and left click and drag will give me a minute scale amounts. I'm gonna make them bigger, right? And then I want some randomization. So render, I want all different types of sizes. Okay, got lots and lots of bubbles coming out of here. Okay. All right. So let's add some other options. Okay. And let me see what I want. What do I want to do next? We'll pull this out of the way. Just temporarily. And okay, so what we're going to do is probably add a little bit of rotation to it. So we'll go down here in the, once again, in the particle properties. And I think we got rotation right there. Go ahead and click it. There we go. And we can randomize that location, definitely. Yeah. Now it's time to look at this in render mode. We go to phase, let's say random phase. There we go. Now we're getting something coming out of there. Let's go to render mode. So Z key, go to render. There we go. Bubbles. All right. Now all the bubbles are all one color. I want them to kind of take on different colors. Now remember that emitter won't render. At least it shouldn't. In fact, we'll test that. Control Alt 0 there, and we'll just do a quick little render. Now, before I do a render, I want to turn down. Now we're in EV. We're in EV. Let me get let me get in closer, right? We're in EV. We are not in cycles. Go to cycles. There we go. Oh, that's even better. Look at that. Okay, I just stopped the animation. It's going to kind of blur out a little bit. I'm turning on denoise, and I'm also going to turn the samples down to 30 because when I do a little sample render, I don't want it just rendering all over, taking forever to render. Okay, we're going to do one last thing, and then we're going to do the giveaway. So let me just stop it right about there. In fact, we can just use the timeline. Yeah. Isn't that fun? So I'm going to come over and let's go over to go back on up to the modeling tab, which is, and we're going to also turn on this to render as well. And I want to I want to go to the emitter. So let me come over to here, target the emitter. Let's get out of this. There we go. That's it. All right. So I want to change the color. I want to select the bubble itself. And all we're going to do is we're going to make sure that every one of them is going to have, it's going to have its own little color. And we're going to come here and we're going to go select Shift A, search, and we're going to get object info because we're going to do something. We're going to do something with the information in that object. And in this object, we want to change, we're going to randomize the color. So if I drag this to color, you're seeing something happening, but now we want to tell her what color to randomize. We're going to use our color ramp for that one. So that's the color ramp, drop it in. And now we're going to start altering colors here. So I'm going to grab this black. I'm going to make it like a pure green. We're going to go to this one. Instead of white, we'll make that pure red. You see what's happening? Every particle is getting its own color based on the colors that I have selected here, which currently is going from yellow to red. Let me pull this down and zoom in a little closer. Let's add just 2 more colors. Hit the plus. I'm going to go to blue. Let's hit the plus one more time. Let's add yellow. See what's going on? We'll just do one more. We're going to grab this magenta. There it is. See them? They're all taking on the nature of the color. We're doing it linearly, but you're welcome to explore with this. And that's it. And let's go ahead and play it. So I thought that would be a fun little. Now I'll unmute Kevin and Tony. Can't unmute because they unmute themselves already. That's Tony, that is. So yeah. So now it's time for the giveaway. Did we go past? We went past 12:45, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to the way we normally do this, because I'm still setting up the online wheel spinning of, I don't know what do you call it? It's the wheel spinning thing that selects names. I'm going to go to my notepad, right, and I'm going to put in a number in here from 1 to 50. Whoever gets closest to 50 with my number gets the win the 5-week class. So I'm gonna pull this on over, and everybody's welcome, including our guests. So I'm gonna choose a number. I've just done it now, and you guys are welcome to start putting in your number into the chat box. Let's see. Am I seeing any response? Okay, I've got one. Ace, you've already won one. In fact, what happened to everybody?
I'm excluding myself from this.
There's no one. Yeah, where is everybody? There was a bunch of people here, and then it disappeared all of a sudden. Did we go over 12:45 so everybody just ran? Is that what happened, or am I that boring? I thought Tony was saying something, but your mic is muted, by the way, just in case you didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, you there? Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, well, everybody disappeared all of a sudden.
Oh,
There was like 12 people here at first, and then they just disappeared.
I guess you see more people than what we see, right?
Well, what are you seeing?
I guess I just see the Twitch people.
yeah, that's all I see.
Yeah, that's all. That's what I'm looking at too. So,
Didn't you say there's people from like Discord or?
well, there was about 11 or 12 there, and now it's dropped down. Are you guys seeing 4 people?
Let's see.
It should be a number in your Twitch thing.
I see 5, including myself.
I'm not.
Including you.
That's what it is. I'm not. I'm seeing less.
Hmm.
All right, what are you seeing, Tony?
I see the same thing Kevin sees.
5?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing 4. So Tony, though got it. Yeah. It should be. Yeah, well, Ace already won, so it should be. So I guess nobody's gonna win today. Nobody's interested.
Oh.
Interesting. Oh. So we'll do it again next week. Maybe we should do it during mid-break, because I noticed that at the end of the presentation, everybody just start disappearing.
You know, you say there's $1 million giveaway. If you stick around to the end, everyone will stick around.
Yeah, you think, but evidently no one sticks around.
Well, if there's $1 million, they might. And then you do the bait and switch at the end,
Oh, we didn't mean we meant $1 million blender dollars.
That's
A
right.
million Steve bucks.
That's right.
Exactly.
You know, we'll start making those zombie chews, Steve, and you can auction those off.
Exactly.
Or a zombie,
ice balls.
the ice tray, Kevin.
Yeah.
I got to look that up. I actually talked to one of our chefs at the college about actually doing it, and he goes, "Let's meet up at the end of May." I said, "Okay, let's do it."
Yeah, Ace was making a comment that he should be. Yeah, he said you should be. Yeah, if you won already, then you don't need to apply again because you already won. Just want to kind of spread the wealth. All right, I guess that's it. So, no comments online from anybody? Any questions before we go?
No.
Thanks for showing us that stuff, Kevin. That was awesome. I loved your tentacles.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Asa says I only played to get it started, but that didn't work. Yeah, I know. Well, I think when it got close to I'm trying to figure out what people's thought processes. Sometimes it gets close to the end, everybody just starts dropping off.
Mm.
Yeah, Tony, you'll have to let me know when you get your little the little creatures built. You know, the I forget what you were showing. It had like a brain, like it was kind of.
Oh yeah, the little zombie potato and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, potato.
Yeah, yeah. I am.
Yeah, those are awesome tutorials, guys.
Oh, thanks.
I love animating weird little stuff like that. You know, with creatures.
Yeah, I'm partially done retopoing the potato spud, but I got started on the zombie popsicles, and that's, and the thing about the cherry on top animation was the fact that I'm close to, I've got the environment already built. I've got pretty much everything built. It's just a matter of honing down on, blocking everything out and that sort of thing, and lighting and all that sort of thing. And that stuff just takes time. And, so it'll be fun once but it's a lot,
Yeah.
I mean, I can always send you my files if you want to play around.
Maybe an object. I don't want to,
Yeah. I can always send you the little ant characters if you want.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe rig it up and try a scene with it.
I don't have what's your email?
I guess I should put it in the thing here. Where is the thing? Guess I'll do it here.
The thing.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun to animate. The Thing from Another Planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to do an old movie like that. Like, it's crazy.
It'll be a hell of a work doing the new thing.
I put it in the private.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay.
All right. So then I'm going to log off of Twitch. Thanks everybody for joining us on Twitch. See you later. Ace, we had a bunch of new people too.
That's good.
Yeah, we had a bunch of new people in the stream.